Australian football's blue ribbon event. And this is the moment they've prepared all season for.
There's no second chances. You give it everything and leave it all on the pitch.
Big games are won by big players. Players that can perform under pressure.
Del Piero! That's what they came to see. He trotted it towards Heskey, and now Heskey has scored as well. Now Ono is onside here. Shinji Ono! That is magnificent!
Reputation means nothing. There are no favorites.
McBreen. Oh, what a goal! Well, a clever first touch, and now he's trying to chip him. Oh my goodness!
These matches and the moment stay with you. Memories for life.
Wherever you're watching around the world, a very warm welcome to Sydney for the 2013 Hyundai A-League Grand Final between the Western Sydney Wanderers and the Central Coast Mariners. A sellout crowd at the Sydney Football Stadium, and whatever happens here today, we will have a new name on the trophy. In fact, today is a day for the football romantic Central Coast Mariners, going in search of their first success after having been the bridesmaids on 3 previous occasions, 2 of those grand final losses coming at this very venue, while the Wanderers, of course, are in their very first season. A club set up in just 6 months has shifted around 30,000 tickets today. They're already the premiers. Now can they win the double in their debut season? Well, this time 12 months ago, the Western Sydney Wanderers was just a concept, but the club has taken off like wildfire, uniting the tribes in the West. Many feel today is their coronation, but Central Coast, the smallest club in the league, are historically the most consistent, and they perhaps feel today is finally their time. We shall see. The A-League in general has just had its best season yet. Its stature continues to grow. The arrival of marquee players such as Alessandro Del Piero, whose Sydney FC team plays its home games here, but who didn't make the finals, and his presence has piqued interest right around the globe. Today's game going live to the USA, the UK, Hong Kong, Singapore, Myanmar, China and Italy. And this time last year, Wanderers coach Tony Popovic was sat on the panel of one of those broadcasts in the UK during his time as assistant coach of Crystal Palace. Today, his team goes for the biggest prize in Australian football. And we've even got the Prime Minister here. Julia Gillard sat alongside David Gallop, the CEO of Football Federation Australia. Allianz Stadium, or the old SFS if you like, is a wonderful sight, and the players about to be greeted by a wonderful wall of sound as they make their way out onto the turf for the 8th Hyundai A-League Grand Final. Reception for the teams. We'll have the team news for you very shortly, but first, before all of that, the national anthem of Australia is to be sung by Samantha Jade.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Australia will be performed by Samantha Jade.
So the third all-New South Wales Grand Final clash of the A-League era. The Wanderers backed by thousands of fanatical fans. The Mariners, overachievers in so many ways, yet underachievers in Grand Final terms. Just who will this day belong to? Let's check on the two teams then. Starting with the Western Sydney Wanderers. And the big news for Tony Popovic's side is that Aaron Mooy is fit to return after missing the last 3 games with that knee problem. Yanni Pakatis is the unlucky man to miss out. Jerome Polens is considered worth the risk despite his ongoing problems with a quad injury. And Kwabena Appiah-Kubi, formerly of the Mariners, is chosen to replace the suspended Yusuf Hersey. Mark Bridge is looking for his 3rd winners' medal with his 3rd different club today. He's scored in his previous 2 for the Jets and for Sydney FC. He's overcome an ankle problem to start this afternoon. Now just one change for the Mariners from the side that defeated Melbourne Victory. As expected, Oli Bozanic gets the nod to replace the suspended Nick Montgomery in central midfield. Anthony Caceres must content himself with a spot on the subs bench. Patrick Svansbeek will start in the centre of defence, and at 38 years young, he today becomes the oldest player ever to feature in an A-League Grand Final. So the formalities done, battle about to commence in a game that's traditionally tight. Only once has the final had a winning margin of more than 1 goal, and with these two having the best defences in the country, that might just be the case again here today. Kick-off is just a few moments away.
Hungry Jack's Stunner Meal isn't just getting tastier, it's getting legendarier, because now you can get a flame grilled Whopper Junior served with fries, Coke and a sundae for just $4.95. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Share your favourite football moments with Hyundai for the chance to win $10,000.
That's a new one.
Upload to sharethemoment.net.au.
Well, after heavy rain yesterday, Sydney has put on its best hat for Grand Final day. Current temperatures are very pleasant, 18 degrees. The pitch, though, is a little threadbare in places after that rain and a rugby game here on Friday. Tony Popovic and his opposite number, Graham Arnold, on the 2 benches today. The 2 are the best of mates who actually shared digs together in Japan when they both played for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. The man in the middle is Brisbane-based Peter Green, who works in the financial industry as his day job, taking charge of his first Grand Final. David Walsh and Nathan McDonald run the line. Strebre Delovsky is the 4th official. So away we go for the 8th Hyundai A-League Grand Final. The Wanderers have the majority of the backing in the stands, Andy Harper, but many of the experts are backing the Mariners today. Are you among them?
Well, I am, Simon. I think the injury cloud over 2 or 3 Western Sydney Wanderers is what might swing it against them. It's going to be a very, very tight game, very physical game. And a lot of people romantically are hoping for the Mariners, given it's their 4th tilt at the title. And I think they might just get their nose across the line first here this afternoon.
Well, here's Aaron Mooy, who's been under that injury cloud all week, and he's released Appiah-Kubi on the right. And we're going to have the first corner of the Grand Final. It's gone to the Wanderers.
And a great little attack to settle the nerves for the Wanderers, most of whom are debutants at this level of football. The Mariners, of course, have got plenty of Grand Final experience. Shinji Ono, the little genius, to deliver the corner.
Topple, Stanley and Beecham have pushed forward to provide the aerial threat from the set piece. Front of the Cove end of the ground, normally populated by Sydney FC supporters, today taken over by the Wanderers fans. To work back towards Ono, in towards the near post where Beecham was stationed, and they'll get a second bite of the cherry.
And terrific early sustained pressure from the Wanderers. Good composure to set up the crossing opportunity. Ono fired it in low and in front of the defenders. Then they had to scramble with the pressure being applied by skipper Michael Beecham.
So take two for Shinji Ono. Looks as though he'll go the more direct route this time. Outswinger, good shape to it, and Topple Stanley leaping, but ball had already gone behind, goal kick.
Such a pivotal figure for the Wanderers, Nikolai Topple Stanley. In general play, his one-on-one defending has been unsurpassed this season. A peerless performance as a central defender. And I think his team could do with getting a bit more change out of him from set pieces like that.
Veteran A-League campaigner is Nikolai Topple Stanley with 4 different clubs. This is his first grand final though. Just got a quick glimpse of Michael McGlinchey there. Could he be a key today as well for the Mariners? He's been in terrific form this season, as has Ono in a similar sort of position for the Wanderers.
Typically for the Wanderers, there's enormous pressure on whichever Mariner player is in possession, and Mariners haven't been able to get a pass to stick yet. We're only a couple of minutes into the game, of course, but the early nerve settlers going the way of the Wanderers.
Out of the blocks quickly, Tony Popovic's side. This is Topple Stanley, closed down by Stojovski and watched all the way by Josh Rose. Back to his goalkeeper Matt Ryan, who may be on his way to Europe after this grand final. Lots of speculation linking him with a move to one of the big leagues in the old continent. This is Josh Rose, who had a stint in Europe himself in Romania. Stojovski, the veteran campaigner, now Apia Kubi. Other end of the age spectrum, and it's a little punt in front, see if his pace can get him around the fullback. Tangle of legs and bodies. Apia Kubi comes away with the ball. After Chinook Moy, frantic in these opening stages. The Mariners desperately trying to steady their nerves. It's a good ball to try and release Pej Bojic on the right. The Mariners' first attack. Abini. Pej Bojic, a fullback who loves to get forward. He's nutmegged Shannon Cole. Back he comes, Abini. A decent sight of goal early on for the Mariners.
Really good sight at goal. Good pressure from Aaron Moy. Now, that's going to be a key to today's game, Simon. The Wanderers love to block opponents into one sideline, steal the ball and counter-attack. If the Mariners can switch the point of attack effectively, they can open up the Wanderers. And that was the final throws of such an attack from the Central Coast Mariners. Beautiful switch by McGlinchey. Pej Bojic raiding down the right, and the attack that took seed thereafter was a very impressive one.
Given the stinginess of these two teams' defences, the first goal could be all-important today.
You would tend to think so. Although both teams have had moments in front of goal where they've been very productive. The Mariners hit Sydney for 7 and Melbourne victory for 6. And of course, the famous season-confirming result by the Wanderers when they beat Adelaide 6-2 really set their season away. So, as well as being miserly, they certainly know where the goal is.
These teams in great shape at the moment. Wanderers 13 unbeaten as Topple Stanley intercepts and Beecham hooks clear. Central Coast Mariners have won their last 4. So it's a case of who's going to blink first today on the big stage. Transfer slightly off beat with the pass, but it's found its target in Bojic. Long from Sainsbury. Breen vaulting over Shannon Cole. Breen, the recipient of the A-League Golden Boot at the awards night on Monday. Really has had an Indian summer to his career, nearly 36. Andy, and 18 goals this season, by far his best seasonal return.
Actually, is 36 summer. I think he turns 37 on Tuesday, which actually brings more to the point that you're raising. It's been a brilliant season from McBreen, but it's been coming for the last couple, leading the Mariners charge.
So it's Josh Rose, waiting the challenge of Moy, and then felled by Pollens. Free kick for the Mariners in front of their supporters.
Nice work from Josh Rose, just teasing Jerome Pollens. It's a key battle, that one, given the injury talk around Jerome Pollens coming into this game. And Josh Rose just dangling the ball, tackling range, but nicking it away just in time and winning the free kick.
Mariners fans starting to make themselves heard. In the minority here today, but good situation this for their side. With Lynchy to clip it in towards the back post where Sainsbury was waiting. Came off Mark Bridge. Trent Sainsbury, another who's had a real standout campaign. Hutchinson with the long throw. Partly away by Krasinger, and it was Svansvik with the rather ambitious try from 30 metres.
And then appealing for the corner as well.
And don't forget, if you haven't done so already, to download the Fox Sports A-League app for iPhone. Go to the App Store for that. Keep up to date with all the news around the off-season, the long off-season, about to commence in the Hyundai A-League. We've got Championship to decide. It's been a good, lively start. Hutchinson, McBreen. Salik just on his heels. Earlier by Polyak. Good strength by Krasinger. Through the legs of Svansvik. No foul by the Dutch defender, and Svansvik's got a bit to say to Peter Green about what he feels are some theatrics from the Croats.
Well, I think moreover, Simon, Patrick Svansvik is trying to get into the referee's head early. That's two conversations in very quick succession.
Now, Stajovski's away, onside, over the top of the goalkeeper, and it grazes the crossbar. Miller Stajovski, who scored a grand final goal for Sydney United back in 1999, was a whisker away. Was he onside? He looked as though he was.
Yeah, it's a brilliant run. And this is a great tactic from the Mariners, because they will try and hold that line about 30 or 40 metres from their own goal, the Wanderers, and compress the field and try and turn the game into a combat zone and win that possession. So going over the top puts them on notice, and it was a great ball retrieved by Stajovski.
Well, the Mariners serving notice. Despite all the talk about the fairy tale story of the Wanderers, they're not just here to make up the numbers. Look at that from Ono, though. Beautiful balance and technique. Headed by Polyak. Krasinger working at a tight space. Looking for and finding Mark Bridge. Cole's throw in. Nodded back to him by Bridge. Bojic standing him up well. Bojic, who's got his own demons to exercise today after missing a penalty in the grand final shootout against Brisbane 2 years ago. Cole looking for the angle to try and release Shinji Ono. Never quite likely to come off. Ryan to go long. It's not a tactic you see too often from the Mariners, but they've used it to good effect in these opening stages.
I think it's really clever work from Graham Arnold. Why play into the booby trap that the Wanderers set for you, at least in the early stages? Give them something to think about. And they've turned Beecham and Topor Stanley around a couple of times now, nearly to telling effect with that last breakaway by Mile Stajovski.
Here's Pollens. Too close to the goalkeeper. Just on Pollens. There's a bit of a gamble by Tony Popovic, maybe to play the German fullback. He He's not 100% fit with that quad problem.
Well, it certainly seemed to be, Simon. They didn't think there was a risk going into the semi when he pulled up. Saw he was the least of their concerns. But coming off in that game has led to a whole discussion around the German, Jerome Pollens, who's been such good value for the Wanderers.
Here he is on the ball. Up here, Kubi. To get around Josh Rose. So really good play by the fullback. And they look for Stajovski, who just gave Michael Beecham a little nudge. Polyak out for Shannon Cole. Beecham. Now Topper Stanley looking to hang it up for Cressinger. Bobbled up by Matt Ryan.
I don't think the Mariners are going to have too much trouble with that sort of approach play from the Wanderers. Van Swyk excellent in the air. So too Trent Sainsbury up against Dino Cressinger, who is a very forceful character in that facet of the game. I think it's just going to have to be a little bit more contrived from the Wanderers.
Quickly closed down by Cressinger. That's what they do so well, the Wanderers. Front six, and they've forced the turnover. With the robust challenge. Polyak 2 on Abini, who's got a kick to the thigh for his troubles.
Just in the other issue, by way of introduction, I guess, Simon, is the bumpy nature of the pitch. It is going to lend itself to the part of both teams that wants to pressurise their opponents. Very difficult to get the ball to settle, and they've done well for the most part, the players so far, although the last two possessions for the Dutchman, Van Swyk, have come unstuck. What a brilliant opportunity that was for the Mariners, and he did as well as he could, really. You can say his touch was just a bit heavy, but he needed to put a bit on it to get past Ante Kovic, who'd closed the angle nicely.
This is Ollie Bozanic, who scored what he thought was the winning goal in the grand final 2 years ago. And Stajovski has again sprung the offside trap. Just waiting for support to arrive, which it does now in the shape of Abini. Bojic to go outside. Abini uses him as a decoy. And it's Abini to drive it. He actually came back off his own player, Stajovski. And instead it's with Bridge. Only 3 up in this attack for the Wanderers. Reinforcements arriving now. Pierre Kubi, I should say. No cause for alarm for the Mariners' defence. The 8th grand final. The previous 7 have produced just 18 goals. They have had 2 penalty shootouts as well, so they are normally tight affairs. It's a loose one from Sainsbury. Disapproving look from his coach.
Quizzical as well. That's both centre halves now for the Mariners without any pressure on them, hitting the ball straight out for a Wanderers throw-in.
Pollens. Nampia Kubi. He's trying to double up on the winger, but Pollens has escaped. Just couldn't quite dodge clear of a challenge. The throw goes the Wanderers' way.
Well, great stuff from the Wanderers. The expectation was their right side might be a little weakened with the injury cloud of a Pollens and the absence of Hersey.
Clever ball by Ono. Can't find the delivery.
But that's exactly where they're looking to penetrate down that right side. And, you know, massive credit to the youngster, Apia Kubi, trying to fill the unfillable shoes of Yusuf Hersey, without whom the Wanderers haven't won this season. Red carded last week in the semi-final. But each time Apia Kubi's got the ball, he's turned and run at the defence.
Prime Minister watching on. Right of screen. Just behind her. Those of an older persuasion might remember Jack Riley, the Socceroos goalkeeper, or one of the Socceroos goalkeepers at the 1974 World Cup. On the board of Football Federation Australia. Sainsbury, it's a lovely switch of play. Rose, time to measure the cross towards McBreen. It comes off Cole. Beanie to leave it for Bowick. Cutely done by the fullback. Volleyed away by Topo Stanley.
Brilliant, Pedge Bowick. Great touch to set up the cross, and a nice cross too. Just needed someone on the near post. A great tactics from the Mariners. They're looking either to get direct and in behind Beecham and Topo Stanley, or twice now, once from the right and once from the left. We've seen a beautiful diagonal switch of play, which the Wanderers hate because they want to squeeze opponents into one touchline and pinch the ball.
Came off the boot of Aaron Moy. Down his throw. Michael McGlinchey to take. The Kiwis provided 6 goals and 8 assists this season. Graham Arnold called him the best player in the competition. And he's trying to show why. Good call by Kovic. Quick release for Polyak. He's run out of it by Milisajovski, who's had an excellent opening quarter of an hour. Beanie. Trying to go inside Polyak and Cole, and he was the meat in the sandwich. Free kick Mariners.
A good positive play from Abini. Both sets of players, Simon, have been very positive in their approach play when they've had the chance. We've seen Apia Kirby down the Wanderers' right, and on this occasion, Bernie Abini taking a leaf out of Pedge Bowic's book, forcing the foul. Polyak trying to make some sort of redress after having the ball stolen from his possession in the centre circle. And a nicely placed free kick for the Mariners.
Well, the Wanderers fans having an absolute ball. He might be silenced in a few moments, though, if Ollie Bozanic can get this delivery right. 5 to aim for. Goes to the back post, and it's across the face from McBreen, I think, behind by Polyak.
He was cleaned up by the Croat, Mateo Polyak. Well dealt with by the Wanderers.
Bozanic's in swinger towards Abini. Couldn't get full contact. What about that from Shinji Ono? The vision of the man. And away races Mark Bridge in a foot race with Pedge Bowick, who holds him up, floated in towards Klesinger, who just tried to strain the neck muscles and couldn't make contact. What a counter from the Wanderers.
Well, set up by their key man. Oh no, instinctively over the top to Bridge, who set up the cross beautifully with that touch and a hair's breadth in it. From Dino Kresinger, beautiful cross. And just a millimetre away was Dino Kresinger.
Well, the Wanderers fans responding to that little stimulus of the counter. And he's quickly back on the attack. How good is this atmosphere around the stadium, Hubs?
Brilliant noise and movement, colour. I tell you, just in front of the red and black block when we're doing some pre-game stuff, Simon, it's a rainbow nation, the red and black block, make no mistake. Great scenes.
Bozanic. Back for Sainsbury. Beanie. First touch taken him backwards. Cole in hot pursuit. And he's got to scramble back to the left full-back position. And that's where the ball was aimed from the Mariners for Stajovski. Topo Stanley briefly providing cover for his full-back. Sainsbury. Chested down by Bozanic. 20 minutes have elapsed. We've never had a grand final goal in the modern era in the opening 20 minutes. Archie Thompson was the first for Melbourne victory back in 06-07. He holds the record for the earliest goal in a final. Didn't come until the 20th minute. Breen colliding with Pollens, who's remained prone on the turf. Concern for Tony Popovic, given his injury problems this week. Ball's at the feet of Michael McGlinchey. And from that position, with two defenders up against him, he's done terrifically well to get a corner.
He can't do a thing wrong, but that's a worrying sign for Tony Popovic. Jerome Pollens starting to pull up a little bit lame. McBreen throwing his weight around. The ball fell to the Mariners ultimately. He's in trouble, Jerome Pollens.
Just feeling his groin, I think. He actually stretched as he fell. Landed rather awkwardly. Keep an eye on the Wanderers fullback. He's got to focus for the moment. Drench's corner whipped in towards Stajovski at the near post. There was appeals from the Mariners fans there for an infringement. Cross comes in towards Sainsbury, only partly away by Topor Stanley, and Sainsbury trying to lash a right boot at the ball. And he couldn't make any purchase on it.
Very close, very close. Tarek Elrich has been summoned to the Wanderers bench. Here's the scramble, Topor Stanley rising. No competition. The ball back in for Trent Sainsbury to throw something at the ball. He just couldn't quite get the contact, any contact. Topor cleaning things up.
Breen leading into Cole. Safe to say he doesn't concur with that decision. With the lion's share of the ball in his opening stages, and the best chance courtesy of Miller Stajovski. Denied by the width of the crossbar. Van Zweek. It's become his trademark, that left-footed crossfield pass. Good turn by McBreen, and now there's an overlap on for Josh Rose inside the box. Rose across the face, and Abini couldn't quite get there.
Well, in the end, I think the cross from Josh Rose just had too much speed on it, but this goal was crafted by Daniel McBreen, an exquisite turn centre field, and then bouncing the ball off a support player to find Josh Rose, and just too much on it from Bernie Abini to get in front and side foot the ball home. Another good incursion from the left fullback, what might have been for the right winger, Bernie Abini.
No question that the Mariners are on top at the moment. They're trying to do something about it. Zanuck sorts out a little local difficulty for the Mariners. Lynchy unable to release Stajovski. This is Apiakubi. Now Pollens, who appears to be all right after that awkward fall some moments ago.
Yeah, that's good news for the Wanderers. We'll just keep a close eye on him, however.
Topor Stanley lifting it up in the air for Bridge. Routine stuff for Sainsbury. Beanie. The ball quite blatantly. Don't think so, Bernie.
Just a little one.
You couldn't get more clear cut than that. So Moy and Shinjiono discussing matters. Moy runs over it. And there goes square. Polyak to deliver along the ground for Kressinger. And the corner for the Wanderers.
Yeah, that was nicely worked too. Really done by the Wanderers. They thread that ball into Kressinger. Top corner is the result.
Which is the Wanderers' third. In front of their noisy red and black block supporter group. Outswinger from Ono. Goal kick. He's only scored twice this season, Dino Cressinger. He did get that all-important first goal, and a really nice goal it was as well against Brisbane to set up this grand final appearance, Andy.
Well, certainly, and the work he does off the ball, when the Wanderers are looking to force a turnover, is fabulous. Really does like a physical contest, which is aiding and has aided the Wanderers' cause to this point. Interesting, that's the inside-out ball, so effective from Pollens to Hersey. Although Hersey's not here, Apia Kubi being a very nice stunt double, arcing the run inside from the touchline, looking to get on the blind side of the fullback. Pollens looking to curl the ball around the fullback into the available space, but he couldn't quite measure the pass.
Rory McBreen involved in a tussle. Wanderers get the decision. Tony Popovic and his assistant Ante Milicic to his left. Milicic, who played in 4 grand finals, scored the winner for Sydney Olympic in 01-02. There's Yusuf Hersey, suspended today. Still got a big smile on his face.
Still got a big cheer from the crowd too. What an impact he's made.
This is Aaron Moy, who was the Wanderers' very first signing just under 12 months ago. Beanie, how to play? Not quite. Referee getting in the way of Aaron Moy as he went to attempt to challenge on McBreen. Svansvik. And Josh Rose was getting a bit of joy out of that left touchline. Best return from McGlinchey. It's safe to say, not his best cross either, Josh Rose.
No, indeed, he's put the Wanderers under notice on a few occasions, but the pressure valve released there. The bobbling ball probably could have just killed that and had another go at resetting the attack. Josh Rose backed himself to hit a ball into the danger area before the Wanderers had settled themselves.
So live shots from Foxcopter. He's hovering at the stadium, taking in these wonderful scenes from the 8th Hyundai A-League Grand Final. Duel won by Daniel McBreen, and then Wanderers a little clumsy on Stojovski. Beecham with a point to make to Peter Green.
A great impact that Stojovski is having in this game. Real experience there to win that free kick. Beecham desperate to clear the ball, and Stojovski, World Cup experience, top flight European experience, sensing what was on offer and positioned himself magnificently to win this free kick. Nicely placed as it is for the Mariners.
Debate this week as to whether Stojovski or Mitch Duke should start. Arnold went with Stojovski. So far, he's repaid him. Zanik's free kick into that danger zone, the corridor of uncertainty, if you like. Svansvik was stationed there. Yet to score an A-League goal this season, 7 last.
Had to throw his less favoured right foot at the ball. No trouble for Michael Beecham, who was keeping a very close eye on him. Michael Beecham, of course, season 1's grand final here when he was the foundation of the Central Coast Mariners defence in season 1. A lot of people thought he should have won the Joe Marsden medal for man of the match that day. Ultimately, it went to Dwight Yorke. And Beecham would love nothing more than to skipper his hometown club to a maiden championship.
Here's Pollens. Cressinger had come to the near post. Pollens went far. Hutchinson. Ever so neat and tidy, Central Coast Mariners captain. Svansvik. Out to Rose. We'll telegraph that one to Pollens. Moy. Oh no. Tackled by Bozanic. Breen. Hutchinson. Sainsbury to switch the point of attack again. It's Van Dijk. They are a little off with the delivery towards Bojic, but Beanie's on the ball. Only briefly. Now Polyak looking to release Apia Kubi. And onwards Van Dijk. Youth against experience. And youth has run out. And his touch deserts him. Botanic was able to gobble up possession, but the Wanderers quickly back on the ball.
And look at how Shannon Cole left his left full-back position to zero in on McBreen as that ball arrived in the centre of the field. Forced the turnover. Terrific work from Shannon Cole. Allows the Wanderers to take control of this little phase of the game. Another good raid by Apia Kubi.
Apia Kubi just the faintest of touches to release Polens. Smiling faces in the Cove. There's national team coach Holger Ossick, centre picture. Hamburger to his left, the FFA technical director. Big months coming up for them in June with the 3 World Cup qualifiers that will decide Australia's fate for Brazil 2014. To go some to prevent the corner.
Matt Ryan protecting the goal where he made his A-League debut against Sydney FC and came up with a howler on debut. How times have changed for Matt Ryan, and what a fabulous contributor he's been to the Mariners since, and with this European career beckoning.
Who, of course, missed a penalty against the Wanderers in their round 22 meeting that sent the Wanderers to the top of the table, courtesy of Labanon Aliti's late winner. Wanderers will certainly hope it doesn't go to spot kicks today. Their records has been less than exemplary from 11 metres. It's clumsy by Stajovski.
Upset that the contact by Shannon Cole on Pedge Bojic just prior to that wasn't deemed illegal, and the follow-up by Stajovski on Polyak was.
No cards produced by referee Peter Green as yet. 4 of the 7 grand finals so far played have produced a red card. In fact, we had 2 back in 08-09, to victory in Adelaide. Tempers do tend to fray when there's so much at stake. Maiden championship, remember, for either of these 2 teams. Bojic. That pressing from the front again by Western Sydney Wanderers, and it's paid dividends. The turnover in possession, but it's only momentary. Josh Rose trying to get in behind Polens. Seconds for a throw-in.
He recovered well, Jerome Polens. The hot breath on his neck of Josh Rose bearing down to try and win that second possession. Bevan McBreen, along with John Hutchison, really doing a good job in settling the Mariners' attack. Difficult circumstances. Zanek doing his bit as well. Here's Hutchison's deputy in the centre of midfield for the Mariners.
Hutchinson's long throw almost spreads its way through for a Beanie. Eventually cleared by Cole. Sainsbury. I'm not sure whether he actually saw Pressinger coming on the blind side. Touch fortunate to get away with that. Too high for a Beanie. Bridge finding Moy. Poliak. Closed down by Stajovski. 50-50 ball, breaks the way of the Mariners, and this is Mateo Poliak, formerly of Dinamo Zagreb. Bojic on the charge from right fullback, which he loves to do, being pursued by Mark Bridge all the way. Still with Bojic. Eventually, Aaron Moy says enough. Yakubu steaming forward on the right. It's a pretty rotten ball from Poliak.
He needed to hit that about 15 yards earlier than he did.
About 5 seconds quicker.
Exactly. Sucking in some big ones. He's put in a couple of pretty intense sprints over the last few minutes to support and then cover broken down play, which just ran out a little bit of petrol in that decision-making process to try and find Corbina Apiakubi.
Talking of the Rainbow Nation, as you were, Harps, in the early part of the game, Corbina Apiakubi epitomising that. New Zealand born of Ghanaian parents, very much Australian, very much parts of this Western Sydney Wanderers success story, but challenge on Svansvik has not gone down too well with the veteran Central Coast Mariners defender.
And a former Mariner himself, Apiakubi.
Youth League with the Mariners a year or two ago under Tony Walmsley before making the switch at the start of this season. Svansvik. Rose. McGlinchey. Turning it inside for Hutchinson. Got a room for McBreen, allowed to turn. Looks promising this for the Mariners. McGlinchey with a flat delivery. It's away by Cole. As far as Rose, and Sam just trying to twist and bend his body into the right position.
Well, they've come close, very close, the Mariners, on 3 or 4 raids into the Wanderers penalty area now.
There's fan cam behind the goal. That's a camera actually attached to a pair of glasses on one of the Wanderers fans in the red and black block, giving us a slightly different perspective.
I'm surprised it didn't come through the bottom of a beer glass then.
Could well have been.
That's a great vantage point. I'm sure they're having a fun day out.
Lucas Neal, the Socceroos captain, currently, of course, with Sydney FC, says he wants to stay in the Hyundai League for another year. Bridge did well to get out of a tight spot there. It's just a little bit laboured at times, though, for the Wanderers, Andy. I don't know if you agree.
Well, it's not so much labour time, but the point I was going to make was just a reiteration on the quality of the playing surface. And it's difficult for the players in big games like this when the pressure's really on. You can see Apiakubi putting Matt Ryan under pressure now.
And he's done so really well. He's robbed the goalkeeper of the ball. Ryan retreating, Apiakubi to try and bend it, which is probably overly ambitious. And the Mariners survive. A warning sign. The pace of Apiakubi quickly closing down the goalkeeper. Can't afford to dally in those sort of areas.
But it is difficult for the players to settle in possession and release the next runner. And on the occasions that the Mariners have really looked to make incursions into the Wanderers penalty area, they've had to really hit the pass because things are so congested. And the ball invariably is taking a bobble. Players lose that immediate control inside the penalty area, and then the crossing pass, the money ball, is rushed. Now, that's the only part of the game where I think things are coming a little unstuck for both teams at the moment. And they're considering that very well indeed.
Now McGlinchey getting a metre on Polenz, and he's away from the fullback, and McBreen had a swing at it. Now Abini on target. That's gobbled up by Ante Kovic.
And another case in point, although it was just taken off Daniel McBreen's foot there by a Wanderers defender. But beautiful work, McGlinchey, just to let the ball roll in front of Polenz, and there it was. Polenz again in recovery, just nicking the ball past McBreen. And the first save of the game of any real note by Ante Kovic.
Well, 7 shots on goal the Mariners have had, just 2 for the Wanderers. The for an eighth here. This is McGlinchey. Held off by Apia Kubi. A bit of room for Aaron Moy. The only thing I'll say in favour of the pitch, Andy, is that it looks a lot better than it did 24 hours ago. I was here for the press conferences and it looks a real quagmire. It's drained pretty well, but...
Yeah, no, it's recovered well. It's just a function of the amount of football of various codes that's played here. Really impossible for the groundsman to get the pitch to recover as we need it. And it's a great amphitheatre otherwise, and a buzzing atmosphere at the football stadium.
Mariners fans will be encouraged by their team's performance in the first half. They've had a better weight of chances and arguably the better quality of chances as well. Out to Josh Rose, familiar combination. Now McGlinchey's in behind, and nobody was rushing in here to the 6-yard box to try and finish off the chance. So McGlinchey, his good work goes to waste. And Josh Rose too. How easily they found a way in behind the Wanderers' defence. Here they go again down that side. They've had a fair bit of joy down that flank, Andy.
Well, they certainly have. It's the far side of the stadium which has had most of the attacks from both teams. Pedj Bojic a couple of runs down the right, but Josh Rose has been prominent, found beautifully then by Oli Bozanic. Josh Rose's touch let him down on that occasion, and just previous to that, beautiful work from McGlinchey. And the Mariners just one player short in the penalty area.
And they've got a few in the box now. Half-time approaching, McGlinchey's ball in. But headed into the back of the net by Patrick Svansbeek. The veteran gives the Mariners the lead in the grand final with his first of the season. What a time to score it. And you can't say that they haven't deserved it. 38 years young, a bullet from close range. Mariners 1-0.
Well, it's brilliant contact from beautifully fighted corner. Kressinger just left on his heels. You'd reckon it was his job to police the Dutchman. Beecham there or thereabouts as well. And Svansbeek into the available gap. And he belts the ball home. It's no less than the Mariners deserve. It's true at this point. It's Kovic's goal that's been under greater threat. And not even goalkeeper of the year, Ante Kovic, can stop the Mariners from their moment.
Great moment for the Mariners. Still early days, but is it possibly to be their day? A huge boost for Graham Arnold's side, right on the cusp of half-time. What can the Wanderers do about it? Pollens with a cross in towards Kressinger. And appeals for handball against Bojic. Peter Green had a good view of it, shook his head. Been a calamity for the Mariners after just taking the lead.
Well, interesting to see that one again. Oof.
Oh,
that's handball. Well, Pedj Bojic. And you couldn't save, and that was a reflex action, Simon. That ball was floated in from the far side of the field. Plenty of time to adjust his body as he needed to. What a talking point.
1 minute of stoppage time to be played. Patrick Svansbeek, incidentally, the first player other than Archie Thompson to score in the first half of a grand final. That's how tight they've been traditionally down the years. Sainsbury, a little bit too much on that, and Moy sniffing the opportunity. McBreen. Again, time to turn and look at the space for Josh Rose. Rose to drill it. Well, it drifts harmlessly wide from a Wanderers point of view, but one of the things Tony Popovic is going to have to sort out, Andy, is that amount of traffic down Pollins' flank.
Well, I think it's pointed to Aaron Mooy's fitness and readiness to play, Simon. He's physically able to get up and down the field, but there's not the intensity of Mooy's movement to stop the Mariners in the centre of the field. That'd be my assessment.
Well, we'll see what Tony Popovic does in the second half. Patrick Zwansbeek is the man of the moment. Just a minute or two before the interval, an unstoppable header from close range following Michael McGlinchey's corner. And those Mariners fans who've had a few disappointments down the years are perhaps just starting to believe that perhaps, finally, it might be their time. Still 45 minutes to go, but at the break, it's the Western Sydney Wanderers 0, the Central Coast Mariners 1. Let's go down to Mel McLaughlin.
Thanks, Simon. I've got Ante Covic with me. Ante, obviously not the way you want to go into the break. It opens things up. How do you break them down?
Yeah, look, we've got to keep going at it. We're a little bit loose at the back there. Got punished with a couple of balls behind. And, you know, they got probably a bit of sloppy defending at the back. But look, we got come out second half. We know we're a good side. We know we can go and press forward, and we just got to give it our all. 45 minutes of everything.
Thanks very much. I'll let you go. Thanks, Ante. Ante Covic there. Time for a very quick break. Don't go anywhere. The halftime break, we're going to hear from Adam and the boys.
Welcome back, just about set. As you can see, the Mariners coming out for the second half with a 1-0 lead in the Hyundai A-League Grand Final. Let's go down to Mel with the Mariners' perspective on things.
Phil, into the halftime break in the best possible way.
Yeah, it was a fantastic way to go in, obviously, but you know, this game's far from over, and Arnie just said to the boys in there, stick to the structures, stick to what we do best, and make sure we keep that clean sheet.
Is it a case of keeping the cool heads, because it's 45 minutes between now and obviously the championship?
Yeah, well, I think this is where all our experience needs to come into play. You know, we need to make good decisions on the ball and play the game out, but keep playing. It's not about going into our shell protecting a lead. We've got to go out there and look for the second.
Anyone you're most concerned about from the Wanderers?
No, look, they're all, you know, their attacking options are dangerous, so we've got to make sure that our structures are in place, and if they are, then they'll find it hard to find space.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thanks, Mel.
Okay, let's check in on the markets now. It's over to Glenn Munsey.
Thank you very much, Mel. Well, that late goal in the first half has turned this market on its head. Now, let's have a look at the grand final winner market, first of all, where at the start of the game, the Central Coast Mariners were just favourites. And they're into a very, very short quote now of $1.15. The Wanderers, if they can come back, $5 to lift the trophy. Now, the result, once again, the Wanderers, massive drifters here, out to $11 now to win this game in normal time. The draw's at $3.75, Central Coast at $1.35. Bet live on 133 390. Up to you, Simon, for the second half.
Thanks very much indeed, Glenn. 45 minutes to go. The Mariners so close to a first championship, they can almost taste it. And there's the team leading by 1-0, courtesy of Patrick Zwansbeek, who gets us back underway at the start of this second half. It is remarkable, Andy Harper, that Robbie Slater said they hadn't considered a goal from a set piece all season, the Wanderers. In fact, it's just the second headed goal they conceded all campaign as well.
Well, diligence has been a byword for the Wanderers this season, and Dino Crescendur was just half a yard slow to react. He had the job of tracking the Dutchman and the goal scorer Zwansbeek. It ended up a clear header, which he executed perfectly, and that's what separates the teams here. So the first crack, really, in the Wanderers' edifice. They have been outplayed for moments during that first half, and the Wanderers and the Mariners deserve their lead, it's true.
Shinjiano just sniffing for the opportunity, quickly snuffed out by Matt Ryan. Of course, they did have that big shout for a penalty as well.
Huge shout. I don't know how the ref missed that one. He's obviously seen it, waved play on and decided it was unintentional.
Here come the Mariners, courtesy of Pej Bojic, released by Daniel McBreen. Beanie pushing forward to give him an option. McBreen. Switch of play for Josh Rose, who really caused havoc down that flank in the first half, and Pollins gets it away just about. Haven't looked too comfortable down that particular wing, the Wanderers. This will no doubt try to exploit that again. Here's Bojic on the other flank. Now McBreen, shooting chance. Daniel McBreen quickly blocked by Michael Beecham. Glinchey. pursued by Apia Kubi.
Who was great in that first half, Apia Kubi. Really pinned Josh Rose back on 3 or 4 occasions, but as the first half wore on, Josh Rose really started to assert himself. And I think he made one point at the close of the first half about the battle readiness of Aaron Moy, and I think he's a bit short. And the other player who hasn't figured at all for the Wanderers in that first half was Mark Bridge. He put on one beautiful cross for Dino Cressinger. And it really was a beautiful cross after that quick counter-attack launched by Shinji Ono. But outside of that, their leading scorer has been very much a peripheral figure here.
Question mark against the Mariners, really. I suppose is those ghosts of grand finals past will come back to haunt them. They led 2-0, of course, against Brisbane Roar. Just a few minutes to go. Famously pegged back and beaten in the shootout. Look pretty good here so far today, the Mariners. Josh Rose with Breed. Bozanic, adjusted down by Bowick. Hutchinson. Bozanic to switch it again. Beautifully flighted. Abini. Bowick, blocked by Matteo Polyak. Still the Mariners have it. Bowick again. Through the legs of Shannon Cole. Threatening this for the Wanderers. Coming off the head of Topo Stanley and behind for a corner.
Brilliant composure from the Mariners, and at the centre of it all is Daniel McBreen, who's playing that 10 role in possession so expertly, feeding wide runners, and in this case Pej Bowick getting the better of Shannon Cole. And McBreen looking to find a teammate on the far post.
Lynchy, who delivered for Svansvik's opener in the 43rd minute. They work it short, and Bozanic to cross to the far post, and Topo Stanley taking no chances.
Well, it's a good result from a poor cross, really. Topo Stanley had no alternative. Safety first had to be the order of the day, but it was a poor cross, really, from Ollie Bozanic when so much more was on offer.
Football is my religion, says the banner. Hallowed churches paying homage to their teams. Five minutes gone in the second half. Patrick Svansvik then being watched by Dino Cressinger. He wanted to keep a tighter hold on him than he did in the first half. Towards the near post this time, Sajovski couldn't get there. Got it partly clear by Bridge. Back to Rose on halfway. McGlinchey, this would sit for him. Good strength by Cressinger. And he's tripped blatantly by McGlinchey, who becomes the first player to go into Peter Green's notebook in the grand final.
Well, pretty needless too from McGlinchey, who was beaten in the foot race, and a yellow card, cynical, from McGlinchey, and thoroughly deserved, but not necessary. Cressinger wasn't going anywhere particularly. And two players in gold and blue confronting him. He would have at least halted his progress fairly, you'd reckon.
With the attempted switch hit by Bowick, and Stojovski steals the ball. Hutchinson, Stojovski's only real option. He's found it beautifully. Topo Stanley across to cover. Well, they still believe, those in red and black. It's not been a vintage performance though by the Premier's Plate winners. I just wonder, you mentioned in the first half, Harps, whether they are just carrying one or two too many injuries today.
Well, that's certainly the impression you get. Mark Bridge, Jerome Pollans, Aaron Moy, all were the talk of the town through the week. How they'd overcome injuries. Tony Popovic comfortable that they were ready for play. And they've had moments in this game, but and it's certainly true. Good shouts for a penalty also.
Breen and Topple Stanley scrapping for the ball. It's come off worst.
They've been outpointed over the course of the 50 minutes that's elapsed so far. The Mariners deserving of their lead.
This is Moy. Polence. Getting inside McGlinchey. There's a lot of conviction about that ball towards Dino Krasinger again. Maybe the surface coming into play. Back with Moy. It's a better ball for Apia Kubi. Quick feet. Good delivery too. Bridge is waiting. Had a swing at it. Maybe got caught. So yeah, went to make contact with the ball. Still the Wanderers press. Bridge finding a little pocket of space. Volley cleared by Svansbeek. Topple Stanley. Beecham for Polence. Apia Kubi. Ball stayed in play. He's away from Josh Rose. Still Apia Kubi. Blocked by Svansbeek. And now the counter is perhaps on for McGlinchey. He can shrug off the attentions of Aaron Moy. And he's stuck to his task.
Yeah, good hustle from Aaron Moy. Exciting play from Apia Kubi. Put it on a plate for Mark Bridge, but it was Pej Bowic who nipped in to clear the danger for the Mariners. He's such an exciting player, Kwabena Apia Kubi. He's had a really good game here in a team that is clearly second best at the moment, but he, strangely, is looming as the really positive outlet for this team as they try to get back level on the scoreboard.
Here he is again on the ball. Oh no. Hasn't quite been able to influence the game as he would like as yet. He releases Shannon Cole. Plays club football at this venue with Sydney FC before switch across town. Apia Kubi for Polence. Too deep. A more sustained spell of pressure from the Wanderers.
Yeah, it is, Simon. Mark Bridge on the end of their last really good attack. That's such positive play and a really nice ball. And under pressure from Pej Bowic was Mark Bridge. And importantly for the Wanderers, he's been more prominent in the opening 10 minutes of the second half than he was almost for the entirety of the first. And maybe Tony Popovic has just had a little word in his ear at half-time.
A little bit too early to start talking in terms of substitutions, but if this scoreline remains the same, Harps, I would imagine it would be too much longer before we see the likes of perhaps Labano Haliti, who's been used to good effect off the bench this season.
Very good effect, but the problem to me doesn't really look across the front line. It's in the centre of midfield where Polyak has been a little subdued, and of course Aaron Moy out of game action for the last 3 Wanderers games. And that's the soft part of the field at the moment for the West Sydney Wanderers.
See what Ono can produce here. Out on the full by Pej Bowic. Oops, lucky to escape the concession of a penalty in the first half. Polence gets it back off Ono. Polence to drive it, but no real power behind it.
No real danger on that shot from Jerome Polence, but it's been the latest in 3 very quick-fire attacks.
There's Sonny Bill Williams, one of the celebrities who are watching today's showpiece event. Dual international in the oval ball codes. Yeah, by Polence, by Sainsbury. Ryan, not too convincing with his distribution.
I just see this as a really important phase of the game for the Mariners. They've earned their lead, they've had to work hard for it. They might have had another goal or two really on the on the weight of chances that they've made for themselves, but they're allowing the Wanderers to get back into the game. Graham Arnold's off his seat. Maybe he senses the same trouble.
Over the head of Moy. Polyak. And Shannon Cole. Left fullback today, not a naturally left-footed player. Adam Dapuzzo, one of several absentees for the Wanderers with a foot injury. This is Beecham. Topper Stanley. He's just waiting for the run of Shannon Cole, but again it's somewhat laboured by the Wanderers.
Well, there's not a lot of space there. The Mariners are condensing the field really nicely. Very compact. There's hardly any space between their midfield and their back four. And that's where Bridge and Ono do most of their dangerous work. Here's an example now. Bridge, pick up the ball in some space.
Polens. Now Apiakubi. Out for Polens on the right. And he finds a delivery towards Kressinger. It drops for Ono on the volley. And he can't hit the target.
Well, they're on notice, the Central Coast Mariners, well and truly. They're starting to grow in confidence, the Western Sydney Wanderers.
That's a clear trip on McBreen. Ron Arnold is out of his seat again. Not so much in anger at the challenge, but to make a few points to his team. And is that perhaps a push by Bojic on Kressinger?
Well,
there was half a shout, in fact more than that, from Tony Popovic.
Yeah, there was certainly some contact from Tej Bojic. Here's the foul by Moy on Daniel McBreen. It's a free kick, but otherwise goes unpunished. Tej Bojic has been holding a smoking gun on two penalty-type situations now. Simon, he's had a barnstorming game otherwise. Two very nervy moments. That handball in the first half, just after the Mariners scored, and that contact challenge on Dino Kressinger just a minute ago.
Very risky thing indeed to do by the fullback, but he's away with it on both occasions. Beecham gets the decision. McBreen has really stopped talking throughout the entire game. He's a fiery character. And Peter Green, I think, is just going to try and settle things down here.
Danny McBreen will swear blind that he won the ball fairly there. It's a free kick. Two very, very emotional players. Captain Michael Beecham and Golden Boot winner Daniel McBreen.
McBreen, who scored the winner against Melbourne Victory last weekend to earn the Mariners their place. It's 36 on Tuesday. As Moy takes the free kick square for Polyak. Beyond Topor Stanley. Just over an hour played in the grand final. Patrick Svansvik's goal in the 43rd minute. Still dividing the teams. Polens inviting the run of Apiakubi. Goal kick. He doesn't think so. There's a bit more fire in the belly of Tony Popovic's side in this second half. They're a bit flat in the first half, Andy.
Well, they've certainly got the momentum behind them at the moment. They've had all the territory in this second half. It's been they who have been doing the attacking on the back of that territory.
Came off the head of Daniel McBreen. Tied it up between Polens and Topor Stanley. Beanie. Apiakubi to keep it in play. It's good work by the winger. He's skipped clear of his marker as well. Time to pick out a teammate, perhaps. He's only found the goalkeeper.
He just needed to delay there, Apiakubi. Once Shinji Ono picked up the ball, he had three players making a support run in the same direction. Shinji Ono, instead of hitting one of those support runners, Mark Bridge was a really good option, and he decided to go for Apia Kubi. The youngster just needed to delay and allow players to retake positions inside the penalty area, but an important little contribution from Shinji Ono on the back of a huge possession share in the last 5 minutes for the Wanderers.
Well, Graham Arnold, I'm sure, would have expected this. Lie down and give up the double without a fight.
You could have fooled me if my lip reading got him. Is anything going for it?
That's just his usual expression, isn't it?
Well, he's sensing danger. They were so dominant in the first half, but certainly they've allowed the Wanderers back into the game.
Stojowski just went in the ball to run across him, and Stojowski, oh! That could have perhaps been the clincher for the Mariners. Well, he's had two really good chances today, and he's not been far away with either of them.
Well, he scored a beauty in that goal for the Socceroos in an Asian qualifier a number of years ago now, but it's been vintage Stojowski today. Really close in the first half, not as close, but exciting as well in the second. He's looking likely this evening, Mile Stojowski.
There he is. He is 33 years now, but using all his experience, big showpiece occasion. Perhaps those Mariners fans away to our right are sensing that danger we're talking about, Andy, starting to try and lift their team. Heavily outnumbered in the stands today, but the team has so far done them proud. This is Hutchinson. McBreen. Bowick loses it.
And this is more like it from the Wanderers. You just saw they swarmed on the Mariners in possession there, and even half a poor touch from a Mariner player, and they're swamped by Wanderers, who are so keen now for the fight.
Cole releasing Shinji Ono. Momentarily. Good tackle, Trent Sainsbury. He's been doing that all season. His reading of the game and the timing of his tackles, 99% of the time spot on. But it has produced a corner for the Wanderers, which Ono will deliver. A whole cluster of bodies there. Matt Ryan thought about coming and then thought better of it. We'll work it back out to Shinji Ono. Wanderers are going to make a substitution shortly. Ono into the path of Shannon Cole. Deep towards Kressinger, and it's tipped over the bar by Matt Ryan.
Now, this is enormous for the Wanderers, this passage of play now. It's going basically since the restart. And it's just that Mile Stojowski effort, which is the only thing that's really concerned them. Otherwise, it's been Matt Ryan latterly having to be desperate, and his defenders in front of him having to move really sharply and quickly and decisively, because the red and blacks are on their way.
Ono with a second corner, in the space of a few seconds, but it's headed away by McBreen. Picked up in the deep by Pollens. Intercepted by Hutchinson. Now the counter is on. There's not a lot of help or support for John Hutchinson. Beanie's still with him. Off the ball, illegally so, Polyak.
Who's been better in the second half, although that was a needless foul because they'd really taken the opportunity out of that counter-attack.
Here's the first change of the grand final ending. Labano Haliti for Dino Kressinger.
And they lose a bit of physical presence and they get a bit more goal now. And certainly off the bench, Haliti has been so effective. The run-in through the final stages of the regular season, Haliti was in magnificent goal-scoring form.
Of course, scored that excellent winner as well against the Mariners in round 22 at Blue Tongue Stadium. Can he be the X-factor perhaps for the Western Sydney Wanderers, who've been better in the second half? McBreen trying to get around Michael Beach. Oh, it came off the hand of Jerome Pollens. That's a penalty. Penalty for the Central Coast Mariners. Calamity for Jerome Polens. Clearly came off the arm, and Peter Green had no doubts and pointed to the penalty spot.
Well, I think it was the ball over the top from Sainsbury. It was a beauty. McBreen chased it down. There's no question about the contact with the hand. Is it intentional? McBreen's adamant. Here he goes, Danny McBreen. Ball goes towards the hand. I'm comfortable that's a penalty.
Yep. Hand goes towards the ball. It's away from the body. Clearly a penalty. Now, the problem for the Mariners, of course, is that their record from the penalty spot is not great. They've received 6 penalties this season. They've scored only 3 of them. Daniel McBreen, who's going to take it, has scored twice but missed 3 times. And did, of course, miss in the shootout in the grand final against the Raw 2 years ago. But this is a big kick in the grand final. McBreen tucks it away, and the Mariners are 2 goals to the good. And surely they can't blow it from here this time.
Well, as almost what I'm sure seems to be the entire weight of the Central Coast of New South Wales descending upon his shoulders. They've been so creaky from the penalty spot, but make no mistake about that one. Emphatic is the only word that comes to mind. He's been great today, Daniel McBreen. Golden Boot winner of the regular season, goal scorer in the semi-final last week, and now with the penalty that gives the Mariners some breathing space.
There'll be a couple out of Graham Arnold's face. I'm not even sure he watched that penalty, and he certainly didn't smile. He's been in this position before. He won't smile until that full-time whistle blows. But they're in a great position, the Central Coast.
Well, there's one way to stem the tide that was increasing against you, and that's to score. Because it has been the Wanderers in this second half who've been really building a case. A beautiful run, found by a beautiful ball from Trent Sainsbury, and the perseverance did the rest then from Daniel McBreen, who wins the penalty and made no mistake with the spot kick. That was a corker.
Well, Tony Popovic and Anto Milicic are going to have to fashion a sort of comeback that only Brisbane Roar have done in grand final history, the A-League era. Can be done. They're a good side. But surely the Mariners can't blow it again. You get the feeling, Hobbs, if they blow it this time, they'll never win one.
Well, this is going to give them an enormous platform. I don't know, there was certainly a feeling, all I'll say to your question, Simon, and your speculation, there was certainly a feeling around the club that had taken enough hits, they've learnt their lessons.
And here's McBreen skipping clear of Topple Stanley and tries to get around Beecham as well, and Beecham is claiming that McBreen left a portion of his foot in there in the challenge.
McBreen in particular, I did speak with him pre-game, which is a rare thing.
Battle this, hasn't it?
You know, they're 2 very competitive players. And it's a rare thing to speak with players grand final day, but I did catch Daniel quickly on the field before he went and got ready for the game, and he was so comfortable. Not a hint of nervousness.
Crossfield ball looking for McBreen. Oh, he's collected College. He's certainly late.
Oh, that's excellent.
Well, he's saying he's entitled to go for the ball.
Of course he is. I think that's Peter Green coming in and just making sure things don't get unduly heated. And McBreen is entitled to run to the channel and tries to stop. Of course he is. I mean, it's not a yellow card in isolation. But there have been those preceding incidents with Michael Beecham. Well, what a game he's had.
Confirmation of second change for the Wanderers. Kwabena Appiah-Kubi has been replaced whilst we were watching that replay. Tariq Elrich has made a decent contribution in his first grand final.
Excellent contribution. There's real danger, and had the confidence to play his game on championship day. A lot of players can't find it within themselves to do that, particularly when you're a youngster, as he is. I thought it was a great outing for him. On the wrong end of the scoreboard at the moment. They're looking great things at the moment the Mariners, but it was looking very shaky for a while, and still plenty of time for the West Sydney Wanderers. Plenty of time.
Way out for Shannon Cole. Danger getting a foot in. There's going to be a change made by the Mariners here as well. Milos Stajovski has done an excellent job tonight for Graham Arnold. Perhaps out of gas somewhat. Mitch Duke, who, like Labano Haliti, has been used ostensibly as a substitute and to pretty good effect this season. Now, those Mariners fans, Andy, even they're starting to believe.
Oh, slowly, not all of them. They've been here before and with this margin, and they've been hurt so cruelly. But that is a stellar performance from a vintage Socceroo. Outstanding stuff, Milos Stajovski, and Mitch Duke now to cause all sorts of trouble for the Western Sydney Wanderers defence.
Yeah, he's big and physical, not so much of a touch player as Stajovski is. He's a real handful, Mitch Duke. His job will be to keep the likes of Topple Stanley and Beecham busy. There they go again, the Mariners, or at least they attempted to. Elridge trying to get involved. Skid on the turf there by Josh Rose, which allows Elridge to pinch the ball. Now Pollens trying to tee it up for Labano Haliti.
And who glides in to intercept the pass? Trent Sainsbury. What a talent.
High foot by Elridge. Free kick. The Wanderers in this final quarter of an hour are going to have to get much more out of the likes of Ono and Bridge. Here's the penalty from McBreen again. Couldn't get a more perfect pen than that.
Unsavable. And the context around that is that the Central Coast Mariners have been simply awful from the penalty spot for quite some time. Knocked out of the finals race last year on penalties at the hands of Perth Glory. Lost the championship the year before on penalties against Brisbane Roar. In individual matches, their penalty taking has been woeful. And so for Daniel McBreen on championship day to make no mistake with that one, it's a great hit.
Remember, at one stage this season, they actually missed 5 in a row. McBreen is back on track from the spots of late. That was just over a quarter of an hour away from their first ever championship. 2 Premier's plates, 3 grand finals, appearances in the Asian Champions League, but this is the one that's eluded them, the one that they wanted. Elridge. Pollens having a stretch. It's away from Abini with a very smart turn. Elridge. What that was from Tarek Elridge.
I think he was aiming for Shinji Ono, to be honest. But in stretching for the ball, he just lost total control of it.
Why has Ono not been able to affect this game as much as he has of late?
Well, same with Mark Bridge. And what the Mariners have done really well is 2 things. Control the ball better than the Wanderers. And the line between the central midfield and the defence has been very narrow and short. And there's been no space for either Bridge or Ono to pick up the ball and turn, receive the ball and turn and face the Mariners' defence. They've closed that avenue off brilliantly.
Well, final change for the Wanderers, and as we perhaps anticipated, Jerome Pollens unable to last the full 90 minutes. Rocky Visconti on for just his 2nd appearance for the club. In his first, he scored an absolute rocket against the Newcastle Jets to clinch their first piece of silverware, the Premier's plate. And Bridge on the wrong side of the Mariners defence for once, and it's Labano Haliti inside the box. And a touch from Svansbeck just took it away from him. Important intervention.
apart from, Simon, just to further answer your question, apart from the way the Mariners have set up so well, for the periods of the game where the Mariners have been in charge, Mateo Polyak hasn't had the influence. Well, for the start of the second half, he started to look more like the Polyak of the season we've just witnessed. And hence the supply line into Ono and Bridge was more frequent.
Moy almost finding some of that elusive space. Polyak on the slide. Oh no, steered in behind Sainsbury, but he's there again. A terrific outing by the young central defender. No wonder the European scouts taking notice. Visconti's chopped down. Free kick for the Wanderers.
Well, he doesn't half mind a grand final. Rocky Visconti scored on debut for the Wanderers, a ripper in the 3-0 win up at Newcastle. Had enormous impact for Brisbane Roar against the Mariners, against Pej Bowic 2 seasons ago. And now he's won a free kick against Pej Bowic deep again. Different circumstance, same combatants.
If you ask Graham Arnold, he actually fouled Pej Bowic 2 years ago, but it was then, this is now. He runs over it, there to clip it in towards Stoppel Stanley. Adjusted down by Cole. That's the challenge of Abidi, and then he's got the ball caught up between his feet. That'll be a goal kick.
Just wouldn't settle for Shannon Cole. On another day it might have.
I know that time is short. Confirm the crowd for you, 42,102. That's the largest A-League crowd at the Sydney Football Stadium, and the largest crowd to watch a National League football match in New South Wales. Terrific turnout, terrific atmosphere. It's probably fair to say that most of them in red and black may leave disappointed unless they can fashion a late comeback. Gap starting to appear for the Mariners. Glinchy. Duke. Just over 10 minutes to go. Mariners in no rush to take the throw in. Pej Bowic has been at the centre of some of the drama today. 2 big penalty appeals against him, neither heeded by Peter Green. Visconti for Bridge. Again, Sainsbury's there. Oh no. Polyak. Cole got himself out of a tight corner there. Here comes the cross, and Sainsbury's there again. Picked up by Toppel Stanley off the head of Shinji Ono. And harmlessly behind for a goal kick from the Mariners' perspective. 80 minutes gone. This is the Poznan that the Wanderers fans have made their own in the A-League this season. In fact, it's going right the way around the stadium. It's not quite a full stadium. The Mariners fans refusing to do it. I'm told there was a fair bit of debate between the Mariners supporters whether they should join in or not. And I can tell you they've opted not to. So not quite the full stadium, but good fun nonetheless, Andy.
Oh, a great scene. Look at that. It has throbbed here at the football stadium today. The mass of red and black, which still executes the Poznan, not with a lot to cheer about. They might have had a couple of penalty shouts go their way. One red-hot claim, a handball on Pej Bowic with the score at 1-0. And they've been better in the second half. And just as they were looking to turn the screws on the Mariners, Daniel McGreen works his way in and forces the penalty. And that extra breathing space now makes things very difficult for Tony Popovic.
Has it just been a game too far for the Wanderers? They've been terrific all season. Apart from the first 3 games, which of course they failed to win any of them. Even score a goal. Here they are in the grand final. Chasing a lost cause at the moment. Zanuck Cole stealing in on the blind side. And they'll let it run, but Bojic was there. Lynchy is trying to steer it inside Topor Stanley for the on-rushing Bojic. Didn't quite come off. There are cries of Champione from the Wanderers fans. But in an Australian sense, it's going to be the Mariners who will be crowned in around 8 or so minutes' time, unless there's a comeback which, in all honesty, hasn't looked too likely from the Wanderers. More possession in the second half, but no real pressure on Matt Ryan's goal. Now Cole in towards Bridge. Appeals, more in hope than expectation. Cole gets his body in the way between Abini and the ball. Polyak. Moy. Driven back towards his own goal. It's a rather tired-looking ball, which is intercepted by Bernie Abini. Elridge. Run through towards Mark Bridge. Bojic almost losing control of it, and then a foul on Polyak. Well, here's a chance maybe for the Wanderers.
Yeah, Shinji Ono, now's the time. Your team needs you. You've delivered for the entirety almost of this season. Debut season for the Wanderers. And Polyak doing on that instance what he's done so well the whole season, and that's win possession, get in front of an opponent and force the situation. He's been a bit lacking in that department for the most part here today, but better in the second half. And maybe tellingly, out of the playbook of Matteo Polyak to win that free kick, Shinji Ono can inject life and belief back into the Western Sydney Wanderers.
Might be Aaron Moy. It is Moy. And it's into the Mariners fans behind the goal, who celebrate it as though it was the full-time whistle.
That looked like it lacked a lot of belief from Aaron Moy. He has scored some good ones, including for the national team from the set piece. He was a mile off on that very important occasion.
Well, that, I believe, was Nick Montgomery, who, of course, is suspended today. I spoke to him before the game. Very frustrated he couldn't be out there. Nick Fitzgerald about to be thrown on by the Central Coast. It's Mitch Dukes. Picks the pocket of Tarek Elridge. Gets a corner, which is almost as good as a goal for the Mariners at this stage.
Certainly, but great work, Mitch Duke, who's really building his case nicely, just thriving under the leadership, coaching of Graham Arnold, the senior players like Daniel McBreen, pointing him around the football field, and his game has just come on in leaps and bounds.
Wanderers fans trying to rouse their team for one last effort. They've got a corner to defend here. McGlinchey's delivery. Plucked out of the air by Kovic. And now there's fast open spaces ahead of Mark Bridge. Linking up with Aaron Moy. Now or never for the Wanderers. Cole's ball in. And it's sit for Aaron Moy. Taken away from him by Svansvik. Cole. Tripped by Abini. Free kick again. Western Sydney. Pellegrino's to make two big calls, two big penalty shouts for the Wanderers against Pej Bojic. He's refused both. Tony Popovic knows that time is now really of the essence for his team. Moy's ball in towards the back post, and McBreen was there.
Well, it's been a good team performance so far from the Mariners, but two players have been everywhere, Sainsbury and McBreen, either end of the field. Outstanding contributions on Championship Day.
Topor Stanley. Sort of sums up Wanderers' day in many respects. A lot of of space to play with. Couldn't retain possession of the ball. There's the change for the Mariners. Michael McGlinchey to be replaced for the final few minutes by Nick Fitzgerald, who, as things stand, is the only Mariners player who knows what it's actually like to have a winner's medal, which of course he did after coming off the bench of Brisbane Roar against Perth last season. But all things being equal, a few of his teammates will be about to join him. Michael McGlinchey's done his job today without perhaps being the standout of recent weeks.
Well, he didn't hit the heights today. Nor did Bernie Abini. I thought the two aces in the Mariners pack coming into the game haven't really fired, but McBreen has. Simply outstanding from Old Man River, Daniel McBreen.
Abini. Oh, lovely feet. Still Bernie Abini, and he's just put it a bit wide for Nick Fitzgerald. That was just a little snapshot into his capabilities. Bridge. Cole. They make it a tense finale. I barely remember Matt Ryan having a shot in anger to save. Maybe that's about to change. Ryan's delivery. There was a nudge there, and a flag's gone up. It's offside, the decision, though. There's just a little nudge by Bowych again. And he's really run the risk on a few occasions today.
And you're right about Matt Ryan. He just had to scramble that once, Simon, if you remember. Leave the ground and palm the ball over his crossbar. And even for the pressure that the Wanderers were building, they couldn't really affect anything telling on the Mariners' goal. And then, of course, they go upfield and score the penalty, win the penalty, score the penalty, which gives them that extra buffer. And it's been a long way back from the Wanderers since. They've been manful in their efforts, but there haven't been any real signs that once that second goal went in, that the Mariners were going to concede.
As the banner says, the fairy tale ends today. If that is to be the case, then perhaps the Wanderers won't have too many complaints on balance. And of course, they did win the Premiership. And they have contributed, Andy, so much to this season 8 of the Hyundai A-League. On and off the park.
Yeah, they've been brilliant. They can't lose, whatever the result here. They can't lose, such as being the brilliance of their debut season. Just look for evidence of that, at the red and black around the stadium here and the noise they're still making.
Trying to make it even more emphatic. He's run himself into the ground on behalf of the Mariners today. Danny McBreen, in 90 minutes almost up. It's not won quite yet, and here's Labano Haliti with a chance. And he goes inside the box. And again, Peter Green. Waves play on, not interested.
Well, the referee was a long way away from that one. Labano Haliti making his case, and he's got one. He has got a case, Labano Haliti.
Well, he's nowhere near the ball, is he, Trent Sainsbury?
Peter Green was 30 or 40 metres away from that. He was well positioned for the Pedge Bowych handball. He wasn't for that one. All the penalty calls have gone against the Wanderers here today.
Point being made quite vociferously by Tony Popovic to Strebro Dolowski, the fourth official.
Well, they've had two really good ones. One half claim, not given. And the Mariners, of course, were awarded theirs and converted. It's the story of the penalties maybe on the scoreboard, Simon.
Well, perhaps the Mariners were due a bit of luck.
Yeah. Well, they've been the better team. Very comfortable in saying that.
Well, they lost a grand final in stoppage time 2 years ago.
The penalty there, presumably converted by the Wanderers. And what do you reckon Graham Arnold's heart rate does? 2-1 up going into injury time.
I think he might have almost expired on the touchline if that had happened. Anyway, it didn't, at least not yet. Mariners are so close they can almost reach out and touch the trophy. Abini. He should just head for the hills, really. Instead, he crosses towards the far post. This could finish it once and for all. Nick Fitzgerald with a chance to his name up in lights, straight at the goalkeeper. Wanderers still trying to probe, but they've had such little joy today. The Mariners' defence has been resolute, as it has been all season. They have been terrific. Shannon Cole, deep inside the final minute of the 3 additional. It's too deep for Haliti. Can't even pick up the scraps. This is Bozanic. Central Coast Mariners fans away to our right. Almost not daring to watch. You can barely believe it's about to come true. This dream they've had for so long of winning a grand final. Cole with a flat delivery. Aaron Boyd back in. Polyak comes off the shins of Bridge. It's just not been enough really for the Wanderers today, and that should be enough. Peter Green has the whistle to his mouth. He blows it now, and finally, it has taken 8 years, 4 grand finals, and an awful lot of heartache along the way. But the Central Coast Mariners have a championship at last. No wonder Graham Arnold punches the air in celebration and no doubt relief. The 2 good mates exchange a hug and handshakes too. It is disappointment for the Wanderers, but their turn will surely come, and they have the consolation of the Premiership. But outside their fans, few will begrudge, I'm sure, the Mariners this moment. They cried tears of despair 2 years ago. Today, it is tears of joy. They are the smallest club with the biggest hearts. So how good is it to finally proclaim that the Central Coast Mariners are the champions of Australia? Fantastic, Andy Harper.
And not before time. You could have mounted a very convincing argument, Simon, that they might have had 5 grand finals of the 8 on offer. It's a brilliant story. It's been painful, the journey to this point, but they'll party hard on the coast. There'll be a lot of pent-up emotion. 3 have come and gone, and they've seized the moment here today brilliantly.
They have indeed. Patrick Zvansvik on the cusp of half-time, and then a second-half penalty for Daniel McBreen. Enough to see off the Wanderers. The full-time scoreline, Western Sydney Wanderers 0, the Central Coast Mariners 2. The Mariners are the champions for Season 8. Let's go down to Mel McLaughlin.
I've got the captain, John Hutchinson. You were the face of the heartbreak for the Mariners 2 years ago. How does this one compare?
Words don't explain what it means right now to us as players. We worked our socks off today. Western Sydney's a great team. They had a good season, but on the day I thought we were better today and we deserved to win.
4 grand finals, so you've been involved in 3 of them. What does that mean for the Mariners to finally get it? No one's been here as many times as you guys.
It's amazing, you know. It's as I said to the fans a long time ago, this one's not for us, it's for them, you know. And it means a lot to us, but I know it means a lot to the fans as well. And I'd like to say thanks for them coming out tonight. Fantastic atmosphere, you know, and 2 teams slogged it out.
What about the mindset? The team seemed, and Graham Arnold as well, seemed extremely relaxed coming into this.
Oh, that's our team, you know. We just like to keep things casual, no matter what type of game we're coming up to. You know, we've got some good characters here. We've got some fantastic players, some good youngsters as well. And before the game, we just told them that this could be the last time that we play together as a team, so let's make it special.
Congratulations, enjoy.
Thank you, Mel.
Okay, over to you, Zappers now.
Yeah, thanks, Mel. Michael Beecham with me, captain of the Western Sydney Wanderers. Michael, I suppose this season sums up what we've got behind us. Not one red and black shirt has left the stadium. It must be heartening to see.
Yeah, look, it's fantastic. You know, the amount of support we've had this season, and you know, it's gotten bigger and better throughout the year. But yeah, it doesn't take away from the pain at the moment.
Where do you think it went wrong today?
Oh, look, I think maybe we forced a few times there the ball, but at the end of the day, credit to the Mariners. You know, they finished off their chances. But in saying that, you know, credit to our boys, because we pushed right onto the last minute there, and that's all you can do.
Thanks, Michael. Well done on a great season anyway.
Thanks, mate.
Back to you, Mel.
Thanks, Zappa. Matty Ryan, extremely excited. You're pretty good at an initial reaction. How are you feeling?
Oh, there's no better feeling in world football than this. I mean, these bunch of boys, wave after wave, defensive structure is just it's unbelievable.
What about the battle with the Wanderers? It's ongoing all season, culminating with this contest tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we always knew it was going to be a bit of a war coming out here. Our past previous encounters have been the same way, and I mean, to the credit of the boys, it was just unbelievable as they've been all year.
And for you personally, also someone that was part of the heartbreak a couple of years ago, does that really heighten what it means to you and the team?
Oh, definitely. I mean, to overcome that now and to look back, it takes one to lose one to win one. So, I mean, I feel for the likes of Hearts Quads, the guys who have been there, Wilco back in Korea now in China. This is all for them, all the boys that have been here and done it before, and this victory goes out to all of them.
And Matty, plenty of talk that this will be your last A-League game for the Mariners as well. What does that mean for you personally?
I mean, if it was to be, go out in the best possible way with a victory in the grand final. Stoked, I'm going to live for the moment at the moment, so I'll just get in with the celebrations.
Go get amongst it, thank you.
Thanks, Mel.
Woo! A very excited Matty Ryan. Stay with us. We're off to a very quick break, but when we return, the grand final presentation and plenty more reaction from Allianz Stadium.
Honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, what better way to cap off a phenomenal Hyundai A-League season than another great grand final we've witnessed tonight. An outstanding contest between these two clubs of the Hyundai A-League, the Central Coast Mariners and the Western Sydney Wanderers. Would you now please join me in welcoming on stage Football Federation Australia's official party, Mr. John Ellsworth, Chief Operating Officer, Hyundai Australia, Mr. David Gallop, CEO, Football Federation Australia, Mr. Alex Tobin, former Socceroos captain and two-time NSL champion with Adelaide City, Mr. Mark Shield, three-time Hyundai A-League Referee of the Year. Football Federation Australia would also like to take this opportunity to thank the naming rights partner of the A-League, the Hyundai Motor Company Australia, official broadcaster Fox Sports, and Hyundai A-League partners Qantas, Westfield, Optus, ME Bank, and the Australian Government's Be the Influence Tackling Binge Drinking initiative. I'd now like to call upon Mark Shield to present medals to today's match officials. Our referee, Peter Green. Assistant referees, David Walsh and Nathan McDonald. Fourth official, Strebre Delovsky. And our fifth official today, Scott Edeling. I now invite Alex Tobin to present the Joe Marsden Medal. The winner of the Joe Marsden Medal for the player of the Hyundai A-League 2013 Grand Final is Daniel McBreen.
I just want to say both sets of fans have been amazing. Absolutely tremendous atmosphere tonight. I just want to dedicate this to my mum up in the stands, my dad up in Sky watching down, and thanks to both sets of players. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
I'd now like to invite the captain of the Western Sydney Wanderers, Michael Beecham, to stage.
first of all, congratulations definitely to the Mariners, well deserved today. To Arnie as well, congratulations to the fans that all come down the F3. Congratulations to you guys for the support of the Mariners. Where do I begin? It's been a crazy season for us, and I definitely don't think this one game defines our season. It's been an unbelievable ride. First of all, thank you for the sponsorship of NRMA Insurance and Nike. Thank you very much to the support staff, the coaches, the volunteers, and most of all, thank you very much to the fans. It's been fantastic. To the RBB, you've built it throughout the season. Quality, and to our boys, credit to our boys. We gave it right up until the last minute there, and you can't ask for anything more than that. And again, thank you very much for coming out and hanging around, guys.
Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for the players and team officials of the Western Sydney Wanderers as they accept their runners-up medallions. Number 1, Ante Kovic. Number 2, Shannon Cole. Number 3, Adam DePuzzo. Number 4, Nikolai Topol-Stanley. Number 6, Jerome Pollins. Number 7, Labano Haliti. Number 8, Matteo Polyak. Number 9, Dino Kresinger. Number 10, Aaron Moy. Number 11, Tarek Elrich. Number 12, Taj Minakon. Number 13, Joey Gibbs. Number 14, Kwabena Apiakubi. Number 15, Reese Kyra. Number 16, Rocky Visconti. Number 17, Yusuf Hersey. Number 18, Jacopo La Rocca. Number 19, Mark Bridge. Number 20, Jared Tyson. Number 21, Shinji Ono. Number 23, Jason Treviro. Number 24, Yanni Bakatis. Number 25, Joshua Baresi. And number 30, Carlos Saliadare. Please keep your applause coming for the coach and his staff. Tony Popovich. Ante Milicic. Ron Corrie. Adam Waterson. And Slaviša Dukic. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for the Western Sydney Wanderers. We will now present the Hyundai A-League 2013 champions, the Central Coast Mariners. Please welcome the Mariners players to the stage. Number 1, Matthew Ryan. Number 2, Daniel McBreen. Number 3, Joshua Rose. Number 4, Pedj Bojic. Number 5, Zach Anderson. Number 6, Patrick Zwanzwijk. Number 8, Adriano Pellegrino. Number 9, Bernie Ibini. Number 11, Oliver Bozanic. Number 13, Brent Griffiths. Number 14, Michael McGlinchey. Number 15, Bradley McDonald. Number 16, Trent Sainsbury. Number 17, Anthony Caceres. Number 18, Nick Montgomery. Number 19, Mitchell Duke. Number 20, Justin Passfield. Number 21, Mile Sturjovski. Number 23, Adam Kwasnik. Number 24, Hayden Morton. Number 29, Nick Fitzgerald. Number 30, David Bradasevich. Please welcome to the stage the coaching staff, starting with Graham Arnold. Phil Moss. John Crawley. Rick Katz. Paul McNabb. Andrew Clark. Jonathan King. And last, but definitely not least, ladies and gentlemen, the captain of the Central Coast Mariners, number 7, John Hutchison.
Firstly, I just want to say thank you to Western Sydney for the game today. I said during the week that they're an inspiration to soccer. The crowds they have, the way they went out this season is fantastic, and they should be congratulated on the season they had. To my boys, you're the easiest team in the world to lead. I've had a fantastic season. You're all a great bunch of boys, and you deserve this so much. To the families, thank you. Thank you for putting up with all our crap during the season. To the owners and the sponsors, thank you very much. And last but not least, to our fans. I know you've gone through the pain that we've gone through for the last 3 grand finals, and I'd like to dedicate this one to you guys and just say thank you for everything.
I'd now like to invite John Ellsworth and David Gallup to step forward and present the Hyundai A-League Championship Trophy to the Central Coast Mariners captain, John Hutchison. John Hutchison and Patrick Zwanswijk, ladies and gentlemen, once again, please put your hands together for the Central Coast Mariners champions.
So at the 4th time of asking in a Hyundai A-League Grand Final, finally the Mariners get the answer they're after, and they win a championship in front of over 40,000 people who have not stopped cheering for the past 2 hours here in Sydney. Magnificent scenes for the code of football, and finally the Mariners get it. We've got a post-game show to take you up until 7 p.m. Eastern. We've got the B-League special after that, but between now and then we'll hear from both sets of players and also coaches in the fallout to this one. Robbie Slater, Mark Rudin, and also Mark Bosnich here alongside me. And boys, Arnie's in tears. Finally, he's done it.
Yeah, look, it's an extraordinary story. Into their 4th grand final, they've never won one. Of course, that was in the back of their minds. They said it wasn't, but look, it's a great story. It's a fairy tale for them. We talked about the fairy tale for the Western Sydney Wanderers, and it still was for them. They lifted the Premier's plate, but for the Mariners, this was the big one, and they brought it home, and they deserved it.
And they delivered on the day as well, Roots. Pretty faultless performance all around.
Absolutely. I thought the game was won in the first 45 minutes. I thought they absolutely destroyed the Wanderers. We can talk about the fact that Hersey was missing, and Ono was never really that influential in the game either, Robbie. But all things being said, I think they deserved it, absolutely. Over the 90 minutes, they're the ones. Let's not forget Laurie McKenna and all this as well. He's the one that was the first coach for the Mariners. He created you know, what we're seeing here today in terms of the culture and how closely knit and how tight the players are amongst each other. And Graham Arnold has taken it to another level. Finally, he's won a grand final, and well done. They're very emotional. He's got his own story to tell, like everybody has, Graham Arnold, and I, for one, am very happy that he's finally won it.
And Bozza, you've spent time at this club. You've played at this club. It's a pretty humble kind of club. They just go about their business up there on 1 hour north of Sydney in Gosford, and they get the business done.
They do, but don't be fooled by all that talk, because behind the scenes, they're one hell of a professional outfit, and very, very hard-working one at that. That's their 4th grand final in 8 years. And you know, they have been a dominant force in this league since its inception. One thing I will say as well about Graham Arnold, if we remember the week before the Wanderers game decided the Premier's play, I thought his attitude in the press conferences and all that was completely different than it has been this week. He's been very relaxed, he's been very cool. He's talked about enjoying the week, and I think that really transferred onto his players. They definitely settled the better, and they were a better team today.
Let's hear from the man right now, Graham Arnold, with Mel.
Thanks very much, Adam. Arnie's been very patient here and keeping the emotions in check at the moment, but tell us as a coach what it means.
Look, it's fantastic, and you know, I can't be more proud of the players. The supporters have been fantastic, but you know, the atmosphere that West Sydney Wanderers made tonight made it a very, very special grand final for the A-League, and you know, we had to learn the hard way how to win a grand final, and I'm sure they'll get a chance in the near future.
How much did that experience 2 years ago, do you think, help tonight?
Yeah, look, helped enormously. You know, it's one thing that I haven't brought up too many times, but in the last couple of weeks, I brought that up, and you know, we've used it as motivation that we never want to feel like that ever again. It was the worst feeling that any sportsman or footballer could feel after the Brisbane Grand Final, and we just wanted to make sure that we carried out the game plan. We played for 95 minutes, and we continued to do what we did from the start of the game.
The team and yourself, the last week, a lot of us have noticed, seemed so genuinely relaxed and enjoying the week. Was that for real, and was that easy to do?
No, look, that's one thing I've learned through my experiences with Gus Hiddink and Evan Pym. The boys knew how big the game is. I didn't have to tell them how big the game was, so it was my job to keep them relaxed. And you know, last night after dinner we watched Mike Bassett, the English manager, and the boys had a good laugh about it, and we tried to keep the atmosphere extremely relaxed. And you know, the boys, I'm just so happy for them. You know, there's a few boys there have been scarred from grand finals. The scar is now gone.
What is the championship? You got the Stars, you got the Premier's Plate, but the championship to a club, it's a small club.
Yeah, look, 4 grand finals in 8 years, and you know, our fairy tale has now been achieved. You know, West Sydney Wanderers' fairy tale has been fantastic this year, and you know, and I still think that you know, our form this year has been top shelf. I thought that on a very hard pitch to play on, we kept you know, dictating the play. We were proactive when we had the ball, and look, overall again, it's a fantastic performance, fantastic effort, and the focus and the motivation from the players has been there all week.
And you've said that some of the players may not be there. This may be a very different looking outfit next season. A word on that, and yourself as well as a coach, can we expect to see you there next season? Is there a question mark?
Well, all I can, you know, for the players, I think we'll lose some players, definitely. And too right, they should, you know, it's the 3 youngsters have been superb this year, Bernie, Matty and Trent Sainsbury. They're getting interest from Europe, and for them to go to another level, to start playing international football with the Socceroos, then maybe it is time to go. But for myself, I've completed the journey, I'll say. I set my goal when I first come, when I signed a 3-year deal to win a grand final, but I've got another year left on my contract when I extended last year, and I'm happy to be here. You know, I don't think I want to go to another A-League club at this moment in time. I enjoy so much working with the boys and turning up every day. So we'll see what happens, but you know, I'm very happy at the moment.
Okay, well, if that's it, congratulations on a fantastic journey. Your mate over there, true to form, in your final interview, it looks like, with McBride in the back.
He still won't stop. But I don't know if the other Fox Sports showed it, but I'd just like to say a quick thank you to Wayne Bennett. Okay. He was been my mentor the last month, and he's been fantastic for me.
Beautiful. Congratulations. Go and enjoy. Go and relax. You relaxed already, but enjoy tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wayne Bennett knows how to win a grand final. The Newcastle Knights coach in the NRL. He's won 6 of them with the Brisbane Broncos and also the St George Illawarra Dragons. He's won one of them with them too. So he knows how to get it done on the stage. And Robbie Slater, you know Graham Arnold so well. Finally, the 2-0 hoodoo is probably broken for him going back to the Iran match and also the grand final a couple of years ago. But is he content? Is he happy now? Because you know him quite well. He's a very driven individual.
He wants to go to another level. And I think the key in that interview was when he actually said, for him, for the Mariners, the fairy tale has ended. Now that suggests something. He's got interest from China. I think also from England, Sheffield United. He'll have a decision to make. He's had a marvellous 3 years at the Mariners. And it's whether he'll have that motivation to take these players again.
So we'll wait and see. Yeah, Sheffield United apparently, but that is a discussion for another day for Graham Arnold. He's, of course, the Mariners have got to get on a plane tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. for a Champions League match on Tuesday in Korea. Back for more reaction pitchside with Mel McLaughlin. Here she is with one of the stars today.
Thanks, Adam, a Fox Sports favourite. We know he's no stranger to the camera. Firstly to you, congratulations. The Golden Boot winner and the championship. What a season.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. You know, the boys have been tremendous, you know. All season we've fought for each other and we just wanted to do it today for these guys behind us. You know, they've been through so much heartache over the years and it's just great to finally do it.
Joe Marston, medalist as well, the player of the grand final. That's going to mean something special.
Yeah, my girlfriend's been banned from the games all years because she doesn't see goals. So I'm going to have to dedicate that to her as well as mum and dad. She's at home watching with my boys. So it's just unbelievable. I think these guys and the coaching staff is just tremendous.
It's a big sacrifice your girlfriend made as well. What about this group of this team? It's so people talk about how small the club is and it's out of the media spotlight as well. Finally, this success.
Yeah, you know, maybe some of the media will start finding out where Tuggerah is and come and see us at training. No, we like it that way. The young boys get to grow and develop without the eyes all on them, and they just slip under the radar. And I guess they can't slip under the radar anymore because they're just brilliant talent, you know. And with the older heads that guide them along the way, it's been a great group of guys that Arnie's put together.
You're someone else who was part of the heartbreak a couple of seasons ago. What about this turnaround?
Yeah, you know, obviously that was all done and dusted by the time the new season started, but you know, everybody else likes to bring it up. We just said we can't change the past, we just can affect what happens this week, so we work towards that, and luckily for us, we did it, and I got a penalty and it went in this time.
Great to see the penalties go in. You've got to understand that talk from 2 years ago. It's good media talk anyway, so just let us have that. What about yourself personally? All this talk about the contract, the 10 goals, Arnie said you could have it. You've far surpassed that now. What's happening?
Well, we'll see. Hopefully the guys come to the table and we can sort something out.
Do you have to travel tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I think I've got a sore groin.
Fair enough. Okay, Arnie will understand. Congratulations. Go and enjoy.
Thanks very much.
He wants to get out of it, fair enough. Danny McBreen, and a special mention to Joe Marston as well. Big Mariners fan. The name that the man of the match medal that McBreen won is named after. He's not quite 100% at the moment, Joe, but he would have been watching tonight and he would have seen a great performance, Roots, from Danny McBreen. Heavily involved, especially in that first half that you talked about. He won everything.
He absolutely did. And look, you know, against Michael Birchip and Topless Stanley, two of the better defenders or central defenders in the league, and he topped it off with a penalty in the second half. What a fantastic performance tonight. What a fantastic season he's had all year. At his age, to be the top goal scorer of this competition tells you just what he's all about as a person and as a professional as well. One of the best blokes going around. He's a fantastic guy. He's a real players player as well. The players adore him and love him. The clubs that he's been at, I remember sharing a drink or two with him when he was at North Queensland, and he's someone that you naturally get attracted to as a person. And look, I couldn't be happier for him as well. And you know, towards the end of your career, you want to start winning things and doing things. And look, he's top goal scorer this year, a championship medal to boot as well. Good on him and good on to the, all the Mariners players. It's just reward for a fantastic season. For mine, probably the best playing football side this year.
Yeah, we talked about Daniel McBreen and Shinji Ono in the pre-game, the influence of the number 10s. He certainly stole the limelight from Shinji Ono, and Daniel McBreen would be the first also to give a big pat on the back to Andrew Clark, the fitness trainer, and the coaching staff, Phil Moss and Arnie, of course. But Andrew Clark has done so much work. He's looked so fit this season. It is incredible.
Yeah, he's lightened off the training load. There's Arnie celebrating in front of his faithful down here. Faithful for how much longer? Who cares? He's going to celebrate tonight. Yeah, Daniel McBreen, the first man to score a penalty against the Western Sydney Wanderers at the 5th time of asking this season. Let's go back down to Mel with one of the youngsters that Graham Arnold was talking about, pitch side.
Yes, a very patient Bertie Ibini. Adam, Bertie, congratulations. As Adam said, another youngster through. We just had Daniel McBreen. What does it mean to you?
Oh, what a feeling. I can't explain it. Just to be 4th time lucky and finally win it, can't complain.
What was the message from Graham Arnold heading into this and the key to keeping all of you so relaxed?
Just take it as another game, and I'm pretty sure the boys did that, and look what happened.
What about the battle with the Wanderers? Everything, I suppose, went to plan today?
Yeah, definitely. We executed the game plan tremendously, and we got the result, and what a feeling it is.
So how much did it hurt not winning the Premier's play at the hands of them?
Oh, yeah, definitely was a big loss not winning it, but to come here and have a second chance in the grand final to do it was definitely what we're looking forward to, and we did the job.
Now, yourself personally, would you agree that this season you're already a standout player, but so much better since that stint in Belgium? Your game just went to another level?
Yeah, I think so, and I think, yeah, as like all the media have said, that since I've come back from that trial, I've played a lot better, and I think that's contributed to the team a lot, and I'm just enjoying my football.
Now, we're hearing that you could be heading over to France next at least for a trial. What's the situation?
Yeah, at the moment all I know is just a trial over there, so I'll like to see what happens once I get over there.
Okay, well, enjoy this championship.
Yeah, I definitely will. Thank you.
Yeah, January was when he went over to Belgium and performed pretty well in a trial over there, came back and performed even better when he got back here. Bozza, what about the Mariners, how they contended with everything that happened in January? Tom Rogic going to Celtic. You had a big rant on January 6th, the last time they beat the Wanderers, about Matty Ryan going to Rangers. He didn't. Ibini goes, comes back, didn't miss a beat.
Well, you talked before about me being at the club and being on the inside, and like I said to you, they're not only a very hard-working, very professional bunch, but they're a very tough bunch. And tough times don't last, but tough people do. And they get through with it, they get on with it. No matter what happens, they make sure that they come out for that next day, whether it be training, whether it be a game, and they perform exactly the same. And it's one of the great traits, and Mark Rudan spoke before about the foundations that Laurie McKenna laid down at this club in its inception in 2005, 2006. And Graham Arnold's built upon that, but that foundation is basically about that, all about no matter what happens, no matter what's up against us, we still go on. It's a great example, really, for the rest of the A-League and for any other sport of how, you know, like I said, you can use tough times to your advantage and use it as motivation. You heard the boys speaking about that specifically in terms of the disappointment about losing the last grand final 2 years ago.
Back to Mel with a man that Graham Arnold rates so very highly, in Michael McGlinchey.
He certainly does. Mike, we're talking here in front of Graham Arnold being presented with the trophy. Big smiles. A word on the coach.
Oh, he's been fantastic for us for the past 3 seasons. I was just delighted to get to finally win the championship for him and for ourselves and the fans. It's been a fantastic season and we're delighted.
What's been the difference for yourself this season? Everybody, including Arnie, raving about you.
Just a bit more self-belief and confidence. I get it all from the manager, and all the teammates are fantastic run about me, and I've just had the belief this season to sort of take it to the next stage, and I think I have.
You've been there through some heartbreak. What does it feel like with that around your neck?
Oh, it's fantastic. I'll be lying if I wasn't. It crept in my mind 2 years ago in Brisbane, but I think the boys were brilliant to see it through, and yeah, we're just delighted for the fans. It's some occasion.
You've been fantastic. Well done, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Cheers.
Okay, we'll continue to talk. Ollie Bozanic, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What does this mean to you? You're another player who was there 2 years ago, but of course you suffered a long-term injury. You fought your way back in to take this out.
Yeah. You know, I've been injured a couple of times during the season. It's been a tough year to get back from injury, but you know, unfortunately for Monty, he missed out, which is you know, a massive loss for the team. But gave him my opportunity to play, and I'm you know, just so happy to be a part of this team, and you know, to win the championship. And I'd just like to thank all the fans. You know, the best fans.
Difference between now and 2 years ago in the feeling in the camp?
Yeah, well, we've changed structure. We've got new players, and yeah, that brings a different feeling. So yeah, there definitely was. You know, we were so much more confident. So yeah, it was yeah, different for us this time around.
Well done. Go and enjoy.
Thank you. See ya.
stuff, Mel. Well, most of the Mariners are still out there on the ground, but one's jumped the fence. Patrick Zwanswijk at the ripe old age of nearly 40, still feeling fresh, mate. What about that? Finally, a grand final. Everything put to bed for this club.
The club has been waiting for this. They've played 4 grand finals. They've been the most successful team in the history of the A-League, but you're never good enough till you win a grand final, and just not only for the players but also for the fans. This has been a great moment, and probably for a team that's not going to be the same next year. So yeah, well done to everybody.
Well, I guess on that, Patrick, what about yourself? You got a goal in the grand final. You've had another sensational year. Well, what are you going to do? I mean, you're only 39 years young. Del Piero's older. 38.
You put one on him.
But yeah, when you guys 39 and 40, so man, I think this is a good time to retire, but we have to talk still to the club and see what they want for the future. But I want to sign a long-term deal with the club, and maybe coaching is then the better step to go into, and instead of playing one more year. And we got so many great young players that come through, and as I said from day one, it's not the Zwanswijk show, it's the Mariners show, and if I can help the young players to become better players and go to Europe on a better level, then yeah, that's the future for me. So.
And Patrick, you played in some big games all around the world. We experienced the atmosphere here, but out on the pitch, how did that compare today? Because it sounded from here absolutely outstanding.
That's it. Today is a win for soccer in general. As you said, the ambience was unreal. Everybody, both teams had a great cheering squad, and both fans came out today to play a hard game as well and cheer the squad to get the win in. But as I said, today is a win for the soccer, and it's a future. The future has been cleared for soccer. This is just the beginning now, and in 5 or 10 years we'll be sitting here with one of probably the best players in Australia I've ever seen.
Yeah. Paddy, what a lot of people wouldn't know is that we sat down together with our A-license probably about 6 months ago, and you went through a tactical breakdown of the grand final 2 years ago against Brisbane, which I thought was just superb. Can you tell us what was the plan tonight to win the game?
The plan tonight, we knew that they were a team with a lot of long balls, so we knew we had to stay compact and fight for the second ball. As soon as we got the second ball, we knew we had to play, and then maybe sometimes delay, but also try to find the pockets. The pockets were not there, so that's when the side with Rosie, the first half especially, was open a lot, and Capsy had to go all the way every time. So in the first half we were really dangerous out the left side, and at times on the right side, because they cleared the mid, like they were so tight in midfield, they didn't want to open the pockets there. So all the spaces on the sides, and we did it really well. Second half we came out the same. We tried to keep the ball play. They came out fighting, and well done from them side. But as soon as we won the second ball again, a little bit later in the second half, we started to play. We got it better in the game, and then after that they didn't create any chances, and we knew we had the premiership.
Of course, you're a coach on the field, and I tell you, you're losing your Dutch accent.
Yeah,
a little bit, yeah.
So I'm going for. Maybe my Australian passport in the 2 years.
Mate,
we'll see.
Mate, Patrick, outstanding again tonight. Congratulations on the goal, but more importantly, the championship medal. Enjoy it.
Yeah, well, thanks to Fox Sports, to you guys, and everybody who's always out there to represent football and to bring it to a high level. And without you guys, the A-League wasn't as good as it is today. Thank you.
Mutual Admiration Society, mate. We love watching you play as well. Did it without the chair. Patrick Zwanswijk, outstanding. As Graham Arnold
I'll see you in July,
takes it all in from the crowd. And boys, let's analyse the game a little bit. We've analysed the moments and everything like that, but his goal in the first half, I mean, crucial time, obviously 5 minutes before half-time and everything like that, but breaking through the Wanderers where they haven't been broken through before.
No, but they were getting broken through quite regularly, and with the exception of, right at the start, I thought West Sydney Wanderers started off the better. After about 5-10 minutes, it really was all, this is the penalty in the second half. And
Fair enough.
Yes, it was a penalty.
Unanimous.
The only thing I will say, and I'm sure West Sydney Wanderers will be saying the same thing, if he gives that penalty, then I'd like to hear what his explanation is about not giving the Pedge Bowick one straight after the Mariners' opening goal. But enough about that. In terms of the play, Central Coast Mariners pretty much had them. We talked about West Sydney Wanderers wrapping up teams and so forth with their closing down. Mariners really basically played through them throughout the whole game. Changed a little bit when Halidi came on. I thought he should have started Roods. He makes a big difference because he can go in behind, but that's, I suppose, a debate for another day. But I just want to say a special word. We talked about the atmosphere. Those West Sydney Wanderers supporters, not only throughout the whole game, but also at the end during the presentation, and they've just left just now. They provide. I asked Robbie Slater last week how good is the atmosphere. It's the first live game I've been to with all of them involved, and he said, Boz, I would say half to 3/4 of the Premier League can't compete with them. What I saw here today gave me tingles. They were absolutely outstanding, and were one of the main contributing factors to this being the best Hyundai A-League season in its history.
They did a 30-minute Poznan after the game through the presentation. It was outstanding from the Wanderers fans and throughout as well.
Great moment for Arnie there with his 3 daughters.
Yeah.
They'll be proud as punch for their father, Danielle, Kirsty and Alyssa.
Speaking of Arnie's daughters, one of them is currently hanging out with Trent Sainsbury, who was fantastic today, Roots.
Well, I said, before you go to Roots, I said to Arnie, that's your retirement package, Trent Sainsbury.
How good was he today, Roots? He must have gone within a whisker of winning the Joe Marston medal.
Yeah, look, I gave him a point. I thought in the second half he really came to the fore. Patrick Zwansvak looked after him, not just today, but throughout the course of the season. You know, Graham Arnold did mention that he's ready for the Socceroos, and I was asked earlier on in the season what I thought about him, and you know, I've been following his progression over the last 2 or 3 years. He's finally had a full season under his belt. No reason why he can't now step up to the mark and be alongside all his heroes, I suppose, in the Socceroos. Great moment this, him with his father. He did mention throughout the week that his father was a hero of his. His father probably didn't take the game as serious, and that's probably why he didn't achieve as much. But Trent, mate, you've got a grand final now around your neck. You've got that winner's medal, and the future certainly is bright for someone like Trent.
Yeah, he's looked at by a number of clubs, as we've been mentioning in the post-game show, like many of the Mariners, and word is that Southampton have been interested. The future is in front of him, the boy from Perth, Trent Sainsbury. So just touching back on the Wanderers, Robbie and Bozza as well, where it not quite went right for them
well, I think,
this evening.
Look, when we go back to it, and the Mariners were the better team on the night. There's no doubt, but the loss of Hersey, I said it all week, was going to be crucial. Well, it was a blow. It was a critical blow. He adds so much in that final third. He's so direct, his energy, and the fact that he makes assists and scores goals himself. So that was always a big blow. Also, the fitness concerns of Pollins. Bridge had an injection into his ankle as well.
Moy.
And of course Aaron Moy, who just didn't look fit. I mean, he got through. He got better actually as the game went on.
Yep.
But like we said, the first 45 minutes, they really weren't at the races. That's where the game was won.
So just back to the Pej Bowic incident that you mentioned, Boz. We'll have a look at it now because it is critical. It is at 1-0. It was just after the goal was scored by Patrick Zwansvak, and yeah, I mean, Peter Green's got an open look at it.
Yeah, he has. I mean, look, the only thing I will say in Pej's defence is that when those two players go up, I think it was Sainsbury and Cressenger, sometimes that can obscure the view of your ball. However, that's not West Sydney Wanderers' fault. The bottom line is when it goes there, it strikes his arm in a very similar fashion, probably even more blatant than it does for Polence in the second half. So I wouldn't like to concentrate too much on that because it would detract away from the fact, like I said, that Central Coast Mariners were the better side today. But it was definitely something that, you know, that was blatant to us, for all of us to see. Other than that, I thought Peter Green refereed the game very well. He let it go, he let it flow.
Roots, just on the Wanderers and how they view their season, given it ended on this note, and Michael Beecham mentioned in the post-match presentation that it wasn't going to detract from everything. Is it hard not to let it detract, though, in this moment? Surely you're sitting in that dressing room just absolutely gutted.
You would be. There's no denying that. You don't get every day's an opportunity to play in a grand final, and they've done that. And they've lost one, unfortunately, as a group of players. But it's been a success, an absolute success for the coaching staff, the fans, the playing group, everyone involved with the club. It's been phenomenal. No one would have thought this would have been the case, that the Western Sydney Wanderers would have achieved, or being here today in the grand final against the Mariners. They're there, they won the Premier's Plate. Well done. When they sit down and review the season, Tony Popovic and his coaching staff, I'm sure they're going to give themselves a couple of pats on the backs. Everyone was talking about, well, it's the second season, let's see what they do next year. How's about for a second now, we'll just sit back, relax and enjoy what they've achieved this season, because I think it's been a wonderful story, and next year will come in 6 months' time.
And same for the Mariners as well, because this season is still going. Robbie, in 2 nights' time, you'll be sitting in a commentary box talking about them playing.
I'm looking forward to doing it because there's still a big chance of qualifying. This is going to make it very tough for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I spoke to Arnie during the week and he said, if we win the grand final, how am I going to tell the players they can't go and have celebrate that? I think that we all know what that means. They have to get a plane on 9:30 in the morning, but they've still got a big chance. They've got a home game against Kalasha as well, following after that on the 30th of April. Look, there might be a couple of hangovers going across the career, but they go there on a high.
That's what I mean. They got momentum. Why would you rather go on a loss on a big game
that's
like
what
this?
I mean. Like Melbourne Victory did 3 years ago.
Yeah, this is very,
they lost the grand final.
It's very important for us, as a soccer nation, as a footballing nation, that we do well in these Asian Championships. And we haven't so far. We haven't won it. It is a pathway to play in the World Club Championship. Roods originally in the first season you guys went through, but he went through Oceania. But this is a very important thing for the progress for our football nation, that we do well in this championship.
Yeah, they, as Robbie mentioned, they get on a flight at 9:30 tomorrow. They land, they have a quick session at where they're playing in Suwon, and then they got to back up the next night to play against Eddie Bosnar, the Australian, and his teammates in Korea, and then come back and maybe celebrate. And then on Tuesday week is when they play that home game, and hopefully the Mariners can do something nice there that night, present the trophy to the crowd and get a few people through the gate for that Kashiwa game at Blue Tongue Stadium.
Yeah, look, 100%. And their fans are fantastic. Of course, they're not the same numbers as Western Sydney's or Melbourne Victories or Sydney FC, but they're a loyal bunch, and there is a real culture up in that club, and they've got their just rewards this evening.
And finally, that guy can put aside what happened with that celebration after the second goal, and why not celebrate after 2-0 in extra time against Brisbane. Finally, for so many of these guys, I mean, Danny McBreen mentioned it to Mel McLaughlin on the ground about the fact that, we moved on and everything like that, but you never forget, do you? Surely you never forget.
And knowing Arnie, I'm sure you'll bring up in the dressing room, see, if you saw that off 2 years ago, would have had 2 out of 3 championships.
That's not very nice.
What does he do with the stars now on the shirt?
He puts a diamond on there.
Yeah, what goes on?
The other side.
Listen, you hit the nail on the head. You don't forget a grand final loss or win. I mean, you did it the very first season, Sydney FC against the Mariners.
But I forgot about it until this morning.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. What we've got coming up, well, the party continues here on Fox Sports on Grand Final Day. After the break, stick around. The boys are in the studio and ready to go. Sam and Jules, and Sam is the happiest man on the face of the earth. Happier than Graham Arnold, because guess what? He's got Jamie Rogers in the studio with him and Chris Griffiths-Jones.
What about Emily O'Brien?
Sorry?
What about Emily O'Brien? She's the understudy.
Yeah, well, way Sam rolls with Jamie there. And then later on, we might have a little debrief while watching this, I think.
Are we doing that game, Adam? No, are we out?
No, we're enjoying what the season that was, but we'll be watching, and so should you as well. 2 cracking games from the English Premier League coming your way. Spurs trying to keep pace with Champions League spot up against Manchester City, who've hit form at the back end of the season. And then Robbie's Liverpool up against Chelsea. Rafa returns to Anfield. Rudes, don't go too hard tonight. You've got to back up tomorrow with the highlight show, mate.
I completely forgot about it.
7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night on Fox Sports. But hey, what a shock. Pedge has got his shirt off. Exactly. And they're celebrating. Well, there goes the myth about they're going to keep it quiet before getting on the plane to Korea. Fair enough too. The beers are out, and that's no greater place, a grand final winning shed, surely.
Absolutely. What I will say is...
Sarah Arnie's partner there, by the way. I'll better mention her, I'll be in trouble.
Well done, Robbie. Good stuff. What I will say, 42,000... opened the season this year in the Melbourne Derby, and 42,000 closes it off. Well done to the fans. You've been absolutely superb, just fantastic, and let's hope you all turn out in numbers again next year.
Yeah, exactly. So the Mariners in the room celebrating. The party won't go on too hard, but regardless, they've finally broken through. The Mariners, at the 4th time, they've finally won a grand final. That's about it for us from live action from 140 games in the Hyundai A-League this season. On behalf of everyone involved with the production in front and behind the camera, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing to you all of the matches in HD as well. Bozza, Rudes and Robbie. Look forward to the Socceroos matches and indeed the off-season and next season too.
A lot of football still to come. Asian Champions League, I'll be in the studio, like you said, commentary for that. Socceroos EPL season, relegation, all that. So,
but we're going to enjoy what we've just seen. An historic Hyundai A-League Grand Final here in Sydney. The biggest ever crowd at a A-League game in New South Wales. And indeed, the first time the Mariners have broken through for a victory. Once again, on behalf of everyone, Simon Hill, Andy Harper, also Mel McLaughlin, Michael Zapponi and the guys here at the desk, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing to you all the action from Allianz Stadium. Stick around after the break with the B-League boys. But for now, that's it. Enjoy your football.
Alessandro, can you believe this welcome?
No, I can't believe it, but I'm very happy.
Wonderful to have him here. It's a real honour, not only on behalf of Australian football, but for all the codes.
What a goal!
We certainly need to form a team first, but I'm hoping that it'll leave us enough time to prepare everyone.
How good is this? The first ever Sydney derby. He saves it, but Del Piero scores
supporters. And Marisa gets his tap in. It is 5 for the Roar, and the biggest ever loss for the Melbourne Victory.
Save by Galenkovic. Oh, what a save on the follow-up. The boots header, in he goes! Melbourne Victory lead, 3-2. Now they have a goal, Western Sydney. And Mark Bridge has it. Now Ono is onside here, Shinji Ono! That is magnificent.
Ricky resigned, he came in yesterday, sat down with Rob and I and tendered his resignation to the board.
I have great respect for Cozzy. I've never spoken to the club about the head coach as well, and the club never spoke to me.
Bottom of the ladder with the team that we've assembled is just not acceptable.
This time looking to deliver the cross, it's a good one.
Oh, that is quite unbelievable.
Rojas, beautiful feat by the Kiwi. He is full of confidence. Here's Archie Thompson, chance to win it. Thompson has surely won the derby for the victory. Could it be 7? It is, you know, and it is a hat-trick for Daniel McBride. So we are all set. First against second. The Rocker slides it through. Now a chance for Haliti onside, and he scores. The Wanderers lead. It's a record 10th consecutive victory, and Western Sydney Wanderers in their first season are premiers for season 8 of the Hyundai A-League. I know, a clever first touch, and now he's trying to chip him. Oh my goodness! And he's broken through 2 challenges for Breen. Oh, what a goal! And headed into the back of the net by Patrick Swansbeck. But Breen tucks it away. The Central Coast Mariners are the champions of Australia.